I mean, they're not scoring, right? Like Bill Parcells always used to have a saying, what makes a good quarterback? He said two things and two things only. Does he get his team in the end zone, and does the team win the game? That's it. He doesn't have to throw a bunch of touchdown passes. He doesn't have to throw for 300 yards. Does the team end up in the end zone, and does the team win the game? That's how you judge a good quarterback. A quarterback can be vital in the run game because a quarterback can check to different run plays. He can analyze a defense, and all of a sudden there could be three possible run plays that he can call, and he can call the right one, and the run play can work because it's on the quarterback communicating with his offensive line. So I do think that the lack of a running game has been just as surprising as anything. I mean, what did Breece Hall run for the other? We were all talking about how Breece Hall had the breakout game 2 games ago, and okay, well, here we go. Now we got Breece Hall involved, and he ran for like 35 yards the other night, and they got into a very one-dimensional game plan of Aaron Rodgers just having to throw it all the time. That's not good. I mean, this offense needs play action to be a part of what makes it go. Well, you have to run the ball for play action to work. And when they're in these 2 tight end formations trying to run the ball, it's not working. So that has to click. It has to be balanced. That was one of the first things Jeff Ulbrich, I think, said after the game. We have to be able to run the ball for this offense to work. So it's not all on him. But at this point, you know, he's not the 31-year-old Aaron Rodgers who's going to run around, I guess, and be like the MVP, you know, superstar of the league. He's not Lamar Jackson, where it can all be on him. I do think that he's absolutely good enough, and we've seen flashes of how great he can still be. But do I think he's at a point in his NFL career where he needs help and he needs the running game to be complementary and to you know, kind of be part of the foundation of what they do? Yeah. And that also hasn't been there for him.
But that point Don made, I think, yesterday on the show, Don, that the bar has changed. That whole, we just need a pretty decent version of Aaron Rodgers and we'll coast to the playoffs. Bob, I think that idea is dead. Like, he's going to have to get intense support from other people if that's possible.
Yeah, and that might be true. You may need the super-duper star Aaron Rodgers to be that again because the run game isn't there to be the other half of what we thought they were going to be. I mean, admittedly, I thought that was something we were going to see as kind of the yin and yang of having him on the team. All right, you got Aaron Rodgers. Now you've got Devontae Adams to go with Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard and Breece Hall. And, well, how are you going to deploy your troops defensively? Well, obviously you can't crowd the line of scrimmage and play bump and run man-to-man and put 5 and 6 and 7 guys up in the tackle box, you know, right at the line of scrimmage. There are going to be running lanes open for Breece Hall. And, well, that hasn't happened, right? I mean, to me, the one adjustment I would make, and I think you'll probably see more of, is run out of more spread personnel groups. Maybe have less 2 tight ends on the field, more maybe 1 or no tight ends on the field, shotgun receivers, spread people out, and then give it to Breece and see if he can make something happen with more space rather than thinking we're just going to load up with our big tight ends and our 5 offensive linemen and try and move people. But that's also something that only lasts so long. I mean, eventually, sooner or later, you have to be in this league. You have to win physically, and they're just not doing it.
Would you replace Tyron Smith?
With Fashanu?
Yeah.
No. I don't know that he's ready for that to be the full-time left tackle. I don't know that they're considering that. I mean, at some point there might be just like, can we play better?
Are you excited about the
right, for everyone? And I don't think it's just him. I mean, I think it's the whole offensive line, you know, and the tight ends too. The tight ends I don't think have blocked as well as they thought they would either. I think that's that's a 7-person problem, not a 1 or 2-person problem.
Bob, have a good time with the Frozen Frenzy tonight.
Thanks for the promo.
You got it.
Appreciate
That'll be on ESPN. We appreciate your time as always.
Coming up in an hour and a half.
Good for you, Bob. God bless you.
He does a great job.
You know who else does a good job? Mike Breen.
Who's that? With
the Knicks starting tonight, Mike Breen will join us.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
It's going to be great. But first, Don, let's tell you about BetMGM.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, That's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
However you bet, whoever you are, the sports book for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
That's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, everything. Not everything.
The Hyundai Palisade. With advanced tech and award-winning safety. There's joy in every journey. Lease a well-equipped all-wheel drive Palisade SE for only $359 a month. Or step up and get a limited with $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
What's it been like for you the last 5 years, being able to give the ball to Garrett Cole to start postseason series, and how can he set the tone for you in this one?
Yeah, I mean, he's been everything we could have hoped when we brought him here. You know, he's been, one of this era's aces. Obviously, he's had a great career on a Hall of Fame track. Beat us in 19 with Houston, and then to be able to bring him here, he obviously walked in here with a lot of expectations and a lot of weight on him to be the ace of our staff, and he's been every bit of that. But it's also not been without its moments, without some. He's had those moments of truth and tough moments that he's been so good at answering throughout his time with us. And he's proven himself to be a big game pitcher, and we're obviously blessed to be able to give him the ball to get this thing started.
NBA. Knicks start their season tonight in Boston against the Celtics. Celtics will raise their flag to the Raptors, or the Raptors at TD Garden. Will the Knicks be doing that next year at this time? Let's call in the voice of the NBA, the voice of the Knicks on MSG as well, my good friend Mike Breen. Hello, Mike.
Michael, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
Hi.
Everything's going on. How are you? It's nice to have.
I'm good.
Michael gets to see you all the time, but I think I speak for Peter. It's nice to have you back in our lives again.
That's right.
It's always my honor and pleasure.
Yeah, I don't get to share lobster rolls with you during the summertime, so I look forward to these times. Well,
you make the drive, get in the car, drive out, and I would be glad to take you there.
You know what? I may take you up on that sometime. Have you been enjoying the baseball?
You know what? It's we always get caught up in winning championships, and that is the ultimate goal. But I think this ride, in all the years I've rooted for the Mets, and it's over 5 decades, it's one of the most fun seasons I can ever remember. Clearly I would have loved to have seen them go all the way, but the disappointment after the other night was just because I didn't get to watch this particular team play anymore. It just was so much fun.
Mike, the Knicks, do they have enough with the trades that they made, with the losses they had to get the trades, with Achua now out for a couple of weeks, as well with an injury? Do they have enough?
Well, obviously that remains to be seen, but I think they do. I think they have a shot. And it's been a long time since I was confident in saying that they have a shot. Clearly a lot of things have to go well. Obviously, health is number one, but it's an unbelievable starting 5, as good as any in the league. And building what happened last year, I think they have a shot.
All right. So, with the addition of Karl-Anthony Towns, how does it change the offense? Does it make Brunson even better because there's less traffic in the paint? Because Karl-Anthony Towns is great on the outside. Will we see a different offense? I guess what I'm saying.
Yes, in some aspects, yes. First off, they've got a lot to replace. They lost 3 key guys in Randall, DiVincenzo, and Hartenstein. Those 3 were all instrumental in the success. Those 3 were all tough. They were all part of this great chemistry. Now you bring in 2 new players whose talent is just tremendous. Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best players in the overall league, and Mikal Bridges is a future all-star. He's got that kind of potential. But it is going to take some time because they're different players than the ones they were replacing, and especially at center, which you bring up, Michael. But Jalen Brunson has so much more room to operate. He's made that comment already during the course of the preseason, and I think it will make him more dangerous. It will also make the three-point shooting more dangerous. And Towns he's today's prototype NBA center in that he can step out and with great consistency hit threes. He can also show his low post game. He's also a better passer than I think people talk about. But he's a different type of center than they've played with in recent years. So there's going to be an adjustment period like any time when you have 2 new starters. It's amazing. There's only a handful of guys on this team that was on the team last year at training camp. It's incredible the turnaround. When you think about the Anunoby trade last year and all the trades this year, it's going to take a little time to get that chemistry that was so vital to their success.
The bench was so important to them last year, especially earlier in the year, Mike. And then the trade happened, and then some of the guys like DiVincenzo ended up getting more minutes later on because of different things that took place. How important is the bench this year, and how is it going to look compared to last year?
Yeah, Don, that's a legitimate concern, and it's something that has to be addressed. Now, everybody healthy. I thought Precious Achua had played some of his best basketball last year. I think he'd be terrific off the bench. Obviously, Miles McBride, and when Mitchell Robinson comes back, those are 3 really good bench players right there. So that's 8. Tivolo is not going to play more than 9 or 10, but as we saw last year with injuries, sometimes you have to have more than that, and that's something that they will address. They've got a couple of young guys that might not be ready, but then again, we saw last year guys were put in really important spots and played so well with extra minutes, with big minutes. But that's right now, that's a legitimate concern. Seeing Shamet go down and seeing Achua go down leaves them a little shorthanded, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a signing or two in the next couple of days.
I wonder, I'm going to ask you how you feel because, Mike, there's been so many years, almost decades, couple of decades, of bad basketball. And now you look at the Knicks, and they have a really smart, savvy front office. And, you know, we all know Leon Rose's name. We all know, but there's a guy named Aller who's a cap genius who's able to maneuver things. Do you ever sit back and go, wow, these are the Knicks now. They're not the Knicks they were like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's I do. I mean, it's just to see them in this spot. And Brock Aller is the guy you're talking about who did an unbelievable job to help pull off the Towns trade. But that's the key to any successful organization. You know, it starts at the top and it goes all the way down, and you need to have smart people in a lot of different places, and they have that. You know, what Leon Rose has done, and, you know, he's not interested in talking to the media. He doesn't want to get the credit. He just wants to do his job, and he's done it in a magnificent way. Almost every single move he's made has been so positive for the team. And he's been very methodical and pragmatic about how he's doing it. He didn't feel like he had to rush something or hit the home run. He just slowly built a team to a team that you wanted to say, okay, they've got a shot to win it all. And he's done that because I do believe that. I actually believe last year, during that month of January, after Anunoby got comfortable and Randall was playing, in my opinion, his best team ball, I actually thought last year they had a shot where they could beat anybody in a playoff series, including the Celtics last year. Now, obviously, injuries were instrumental there with Randall going down and Anunoby going down in the second round. But I thought they were almost at that level last year, and now they've got a chance to run it back again, albeit with some different guys. But it's just I always think of this, guys, in that, you know, I was a Knicks fan since I was a kid, so I understand and I think I feel what Knicks fans are feeling. I'm just so happy for Knicks fans because they're so damn loyal and they care so much that they get a team like last year and they get a team coming into the season like this year. And I don't think it's hyperbole to say that this is the most anticipated Knicks season in over 2 decades.
Now, speaking of being a Knicks fan for so long, Mike, and relating to the fan base, the feeling of losing Julius Randle and Dante, I've been likening it to, as a Celtics fan, when the Celtics let go of Marcus Smart. And, of course, we all know in the long run that turned out to be great. But at the time, it stings. First of all, what was just your personal thoughts on that? And as a fan, do you have any comp that you can recall of the Knicks losing, like a real heart and soul guy that sort of hit the fans in that way?
Well, that's one of the best parts about fans. They care about the players on their team. It just happened last year. I remember the days after R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley were traded. People were hurt, like they were really wounded, and I felt terrible. You know, as a broadcaster of a team and as somebody that covers the NBA, you get to know a lot of these young men, and you're so impressed by not just how they play, but the type of people they are. And you grow to like them and appreciate them and respect them. So it's always a tough part of a job when somebody that you like to talk to and spend some time with is traded away, and you know you're not going to see them very much anymore. And it's the same thing for the fans. It's like they invested in those two guys. They love those two guys, and they're gone. And now the same thing. Now, Randall was not a universally popular player like those two, but I think Knicks fans, he won them over. He was a big part of this whole turnaround. He was magnificent. Did he have his hiccups? Absolutely. But the guy was a 2-time All-NBA. He had one season. It was one of the greatest seasons in Knicks history. And then DiVincenzo and his heroics, he became so beloved so quickly. So it's a hard thing for a fan. But you do get over it quick, as the Knicks got over it quick, and the Knicks fans got over it quick after even last year's trade of Barrett and Quickley.
Let me piggyback on the Randall stuff. We're talking with Mike Breen here on the Michael Kay Show. I was a big Randall fan. As you said, imperfect player, but, you know, who's a perfect player? And the Knicks fans never really loved him the way they should. What do you think was behind that? What was the thing that kept them from embracing Randall to the point that somebody of that talent level should have been embraced?
Well, I think his first year was not an easy year. His first year was a year where he kind of had to carry the complete load, and there was oftentimes late in games, he'd spin into the paint and try and do too much and turn the ball over. There were times where he let that affect his play, and he didn't get back defensively sometimes, so fans got on him on that. The one time where he made that gesture as if the fans, like, put the thumbs down. So that kind of hurt him. But I'm on your side, Michael, and a lot of Knicks fans, too. The respect factor of him, he wanted to play every day. Now, he missed a lot of games last year, but that was a legitimate injury. That guy played hurt on a regular basis, and he was tough, and he was willing to take the big shot. And I just felt like he came a long way. I actually felt Jalen Brunson won him over and made him a better team player. And that's why I said in January last year, I thought he played some of his best team basketball. Other players in the league, nobody likes guarding the guy. The guy is so tough and so physical. And Minnesota's going to fall in love with him because that type of player, and I'm sure he feels he has something to prove out west now or out in Minnesota now.
So much about the Knicks in Boston, but how concerning is Philadelphia, Milwaukee? Is there another team we're not talking about that the Knicks have to file away as a possible impediment to getting to where they want to go?
You know what, Don? I think the East, people aren't talking about how tough the West is. I think the East is just as tough. And I think there are 7 teams in the East, and maybe 8 if you want to throw in Miami, because you can never really discount Miami if they're healthy with a couple of their star players and that great coach. But there are 7 teams that I really feel can make the conference final and maybe even a finals, but more so the conference final. And now, can they win a championship? Is Orlando ready for a championship? No. Is Cleveland? Probably not. But I think those 2 teams, and you add in Philadelphia and Milwaukee, I think that those 2 teams could all get at least to the conference finals. That's how good it is. I think Orlando is going to be a beast this year. Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland is going to make a difference. And I'm not even mentioning Indiana yet. Indiana is really deep. They're really talented. They were missing a key guy, Mathurin, last year during the whole playoff run. So I think there's a lot of teams that if they stay healthy and stay together, I think they've got a chance to do some great things. The East is going to be an absolute difficult road this year.
All right, Mike, the most important question before we let you go. You're a big Met fan. You have been your whole life. Who are you rooting for in the World Series?
What do you think I'm going to – who do you think I'm rooting for?
I would think that you'd probably say the politically correct thing and say, I want the Yankees to win. But I think deep down you'd want the Dodgers to win.
No, I'm rooting for the Yankees.
Why?
Well, I think, I'm one of those Met fans that, it's hard to root for the Yankees. It's hard to root for the Phillies. But I just, there's some players on the Yankees that I feel, this young guy Judge he's not so young anymore. To me, he's what a great sports athlete is all about. He seems like he's so genuine. Everything about him is what's right about the sport, what's right about pro sports. So for people like that, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him have a chance to win it all.
And you really like the announcer.
Well, I love the announcer.
Call him a fraud, Michael.
No, that's Don's thing.
What's that?
No, well, Michael and Don, you both have spent the last few weeks screaming about how Mets fans and Yankees fans
you can't root for each other. No.
Can't root for each other. So I'm just curious, when your good friend Mike Breen said it, your tone was not what it was like last week when we were discussing.
Well, it was a completely different discussion that we were having, Peter. That Yankee fans were happy the Mets were doing well. That's ridiculous.
Well, but I'm going to leave it alone because I believe that when he says, I love Aaron Judge, no, you don't. You're just trying to be politically correct. And I understand. You're a significant person in the sports media, okay?
I think he meant it.
No, he didn't.
Why?
But that's right.
No, you guys are talking here like I'm not even.
No, because I'm trying to save you. Because you have to do what you, Mike. You have to do this.
Don,
so I'm a piece of garbage, and I'm lying. But I know you're not going to love if the Yankees win the World Series.
No, I didn't. I'd say I root. There's throughout my life in being a Met fan. There are certain Yankees who are some of my favorite all-time players. One of my favorite all-time players was Roy White. I loved Thurman Munson and Don Mattingly. Who didn't like Mariano Rivera? So there's always been players on the team that I like, and I don't know Judge. I've never met him, but I love athletes who are under the spotlight and never seem to take a misstep. They just seem to do the right thing all the time, and he's somebody that I admire and respect. So, because I don't really care who wins now that the Mets are out. So it's not, I don't care if the Dodgers, I don't care. But that's somebody that I'll root for because I think he stands for everything that's right about what
Beautifully said.
He's running for sports office. I'm going to let
No.
I know.
See what I put out with Mike? He just doesn't take no for an answer.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot happening here, Mike. Mike, thank you. I think your answer is totally reasonable. I think you're a normal, sports-loving person. I think Michael is a fraud for accepting your answer because anyone else, I think he'd be
because
screaming
I love
at them.
Mike.
I think Don is also insane for not believing you. Totally reasonable. And I think there are lots of Mets fans who truly love the Mets and would take pleasure in seeing this particular Yankee team beat the Dodgers. And I don't think that's wrong.
Who'd have thunk it? Peter, the voice of reason.
That's right. On this subject, I am, Mike. I really am.
Yeah, and then you really have to evaluate if you're on the right side, Mike. That's all I'm saying.
Peter, I'm going to send you the directions to come out for some lobster right after I get off.
I cannot. I'll put the. It'll probably be the lobster will be 52 by next summer. I'll put the money in my wallet right now.
Mike, have a great season.
Okay, guys.
Right, take it easy.
Take care, man.
And by the way, thanks for having me on. And just so you know, Don, I'm being sincere about that.
I believe it. I listen. Just so you know, I know.
See?
Bye, Mike.
See you guys.
Bye.
I just winked at him. So, Michael, you know I'm.
Well, he got the wink. He's going to get the wink 10 minutes from now.
He realizes that there's a lot of Knick fans that are Yankee fans. He's got no choice but to say
most Knick fans
things.
are Yankee fans.
So come on. He's running for sports office. That's
so
a
you're
politically
calling
correct answer.
My friend, my great friend, a phony.
That's right.
What you're calling him. And I take offense. You're calling him a phony.
No, he's got no choice, Michael. He has no choice. But I'm just telling him, as somebody that knows how to be in that situation, been around long, I know how he really feels.
You're a savant. You really are.
You know.
Aaron Rodgers, a very strange thing happened on the sidelines. He was accused of doing something hideously disgusting. But he actually discussed it today with Pat McAfee. We'll hear from him in just a moment. But first, Don's going to tell you, after he tells you what Mike Green really feels about BetMGM.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. More than a point of sale, Square keeps you ready for any restaurant rush. And with Square, there are no hidden fees ever. At Square, get 24/7 support to help keep lines moving. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
When we started Warby Parker, we just sold glasses, and only online. But people liked them a lot. So we offered more things, like sunglasses and contacts. And then we thought, what if we sold eyewear online and in stores? So we did that. And now we have stores in neighborhoods all over. There you can chat with friendly opticians and get eye exams from top-notch doctors. Now, no matter where you go, we've got your eyes covered. Want to keep your hairline where it is? Through Hims.com, you can explore a range of options that work best for you, so you can grow visibly thicker and fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. Keep it looking strong for years to come with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride, minoxidil, and a blend of supplements that support healthy hair. 3 in 4 Hims customers say they wish they started using hair treatment earlier. Get ahead now to keep the hair you love. Get started today at Hims.com.
Slow and steady wins the race. You hear it so often you forget just how amazing slow can be. At Acorns, we help your money harness the power of slow. Invest what you can. Give it a chance to grow with time. We believe that slower is better for your money and other stuff too. Barbecue, instant replay, slow dancing. Oh, so slow. Acorns, grow your oak.
We did it.
Yes.
Everything is on track in Jira.
We got more media funds.
I'll start the project in Jira.
Let's get this in Jira.
Surgical knee pain treatments. Instead of surgically replacing your knees, our state-of-the-art procedures replenish the depleted natural cushioning in your joints with an FDA-approved shock-absorbing gel, without surgery and without downtime.
After the first injection, I knew it was going to work.
We've successfully treated thousands of patients. Medicare and most private insurance cover this procedure.
Full motion, no pain, walking, everything just back normal like it used to be.
Locations in Garden City, Smithtown, and Wall, New Jersey. Call 1-800-834-5911 for a no-charge, no-obligation knee pain assessment, or go to arthritis-kneepain.com.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Do you know what can get your friends to vote this year? You can. Because when people are encouraged by friends like you, they're far more likely to vote. So use your power. Ask your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Gross show. I mean, sometimes we'll make off-color jokes, but there was a video of the Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers sitting on the bench on Monday or Sunday night and looking as if he was consuming something that came out of his nose. And it's become kind of a viral moment. And because Pat McAfee is, good at what he does, he asked Aaron Rodgers about the accusation that he consumed mucus. And here's Aaron Rodgers' answer.
I've already been alerted to this, and actually in the moment I was thinking, man, I hope the camera's not on me right now. Oh, damn, it actually kind of looks like it. I've actually never eaten my boogers. That's one thing I'm very proud of.
That was your first time on TV?
Not one time? What about as a child? Had to happen.
Come on.
Had to happen.
No, I honestly haven't.
You're missing out. Try it.
It looks.
Give it a go. It's great.
It's a tough look to try and defend because that video is a little incriminating.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that there needs to be a side view that shows that there wasn't a boog that actually went in the mouth. It seems like I didn't get anything on that one. That's why I was just kind of like seeing what was going on. But yeah, it's a bad look.
You know what? That's legitimately funny, and I think he handled it great. But did you see the video, guys?
I haven't seen it, no.
I get so grossed out by people eating boogers that, like, I have to watch with, like, one eye closed.
You never ate it as a child?
No. I don't understand it. As a 4-year-old, I would think you're a freak. I just never understood it.
I mean, if I did, it was before I had any memory of it. I'm grossed out by it, too. I don't know why anybody would do that.
Michael, the way you asked the question
I don't know. No.
Makes me feel like you might be a booger eater.
You mean right now at the age of 63?
No, but at some point, it makes me feel like you stood down.
You know, I can't swear to it. I don't remember back then.
I appreciate your honesty, but
I can't honestly say absolutely not.
You think there was one time in Michael's life he was a booger-eating moron? I don't think so.
Which is what what's his face used to say about wrestling fans.
Who was that?
You know, a cowherd.
Oh. Well, I just thought that people wanted to consume that kind of content, so we gave it to you.
There you go. That's a tough spot.
For who, Rogers?
How do you do it?
Yeah, because I didn't see the video.
If you look at the video, it looks like he's consuming.
I got to take a look.
Did Rogers have anything else particularly interesting
We'll
to say?
talk about that in the 5 o'clock hour. Would you? I mean, just relax, okay?
Really? Oh.
This show is very, very meticulously planned out.
Really is.
Henry in Colorado. Henry.
We take phone calls?
Yeah. What's up, Hen? Hen. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you, Mike?
All good.
So I was calling. I've been a Yankee fan since 2005, but I was calling up to discuss the contract situation with Juan Soto. Now that he put them in the World Series with that one swing, and I've done my research, and I have multiple sources that say the Yankees in ticket sales alone, assuming it's not a sweep, will drive between 95 and 130 million a game. And assuming it doesn't end in a sweep, they have 3 games at Yankee Stadium. Let's call it 110 million a game. That's $330 million.
First of all, I'll let you go on, but your sources are exorbitantly wrong. But go ahead.
Yeah.
No, how much do you think they're going to draw?
How much will they make per game? I don't know, 5 to 10 million, but 100 million a game, there's no way. Tell me how that works.
No. Because you multiply the average ticket price, which is like $1,700.
But the Yankees don't get the whole. No. The average ticket price not $1,700. You're thinking a secondary market, and the Yankees don't get that money. That money goes to Major League Baseball, and then it's distributed amongst the players. Everybody keeps thinking the Yankees and the Dodgers make this money. They make extra money for being in the World Series. Obviously, they get some of it. They don't get all of it. So where do you come up with $100 million profit a game? Where?
Okay, you want me to finish my point?
Yes, please, because you're working off a false narrative, but I'll let you finish your point.
Okay, well, either way, they're making a lot more money than they would have made if they didn't make it to the World Series, which Juan Soto put them there. And so I think whatever money they make extra, they should add to their max that they were going to offer Soto. So, for example, if they were going to offer, they said, if $600 million is their line in the sand, now it should be at least like $700. I think more like $900 million.
Have a good day. That's an enjoyable phone call.
But Henry, let me ask you a question. You think the only reason they got to the World Series was Soto? Stanton didn't have anything to do with it? I mean, it's a team game. Soto hit the home run that won Game 5. They were up 3-1, and I'm a big Soto fan, but you're saying it's a total one-person thing.
No. I'm saying I would put Stanton slightly above him and who put them in the World Series, but I would say he's a very close.
So you're willing to Henry, give him $70 million a year.
I would draw the line at 70. Yeah, I think 70 is, especially with the prices of the players are going up. This is going to look like a great deal.
No, I don't think it will. But Henry, also, do you know that the highest paid player in baseball is Ohtani at present day value of $46 million? So you're looking to go $24 million a year over that.
No, that's not going to happen, Michael. No, that's not good business. Because now, so if you don't make the World Series next year, you're making that money. That's not. First of all, you're not making that money. That was a complete falsehood that they're making $100 million a game because they're playing 3 home. And you just tack on that and just give him A guy that you're probably going to start off at $500 million contract. You're going to give him now $700, $800, $900 million.
That didn't sound like Scott, but it could have been Scott.
That's just listen. I know you want him, but that's not going to happen.
Peter, why don't you tell us about BetterHelp?
These cuts have likely been sitting out all day long. 2, you have no idea when they were packaged or where they came from. That's why we choose to get our protein from ButcherBox instead. This is high quality meat you can trust and enjoy. It's packed and conveniently sent straight to your door, so you don't even have to think about your next grocery trip. Stock up your freezer and whip up a quality meal every night by checking out butcherbox.com.
When your clothes fit perfectly, that feeling shows. And that feeling, it's your superpower. It's how you wake up every day, feel that fit, and get after it. Your wildest dreams won't know what hit them.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
We make it easy to wow all your groups with high-quality custom apparel, accessories, and promo products, all backed by our guarantee at customink.com.
Where'd you get those shoes? The ones that are in it to win it. That always make the grade. And take the words out of office seriously. A shoe for every you. At DSW.
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth, but they just used Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/groom.
Hey, I'm Ray's procrastination. You know, he'd want to take care of stuff, especially around the house. And I'm like, nice try, man. But then he started using Thumbtack. And now he's got planning tools to make it easy to get projects done. Even easier than not doing anything at all. Totally harsh, man.
Procrastination doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack. Download the app today.
Yoast just dropped 2 new lotions. Y'all want to know what they smell like, so let's get into it.
Right off bat, strawberry dream getting a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 from me. You're going to smell very edible, real delectable. It's so light and fluffy. It's like the perfect strawberry scent. I love it so much.
Champagne is a very sweet, fruity scent.
What? The notes in here are pear champagne, ruby pomegranate, and plum suede. I love these so bad. Like, this is perfect. I love being a girl.
Get 3.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Board by board. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got next.
You coming?
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
The Knicks and the Celtics tonight as the Knicks season begins. Celtics will be raising their banner. We have a jam-packed 5 o'clock hour today because Mike Breen was on at 4:30. ENN becomes a 5:30 vehicle.
Wow.
Then at 5:45, never before done in the history of talk radio, Don's going to have a 16-team NHL parlay.
I think he did it last year.
I don't remember him doing it last year.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, second time in the history of radio. But one thing that I have to call into question, O'Donnell, you never picked the Rangers. So a Ranger game, how's that going to happen then?
I picked the over-under. I don't think I have any inside information on how many goals are going to get scored.
You might.
I'm not even in the building. I'm not calling the game. I'm doing the pre and post.
All right, I'm just saying.
I'm getting in my information the same way you are.
But you can process it much better because you're a hockey genius.
Well, that's not what makes it illegal. What makes it illegal is getting like inside information by like speaking to the coaches, players, getting inside the veins of the organization. I am not there.
He's not in the veins, Peter.
No, he's not a vain guy.
Aaron Rodgers, it's Tuesday, right? So that means it's McAfee Day. And Aaron told Pat, hey, the team needs to have more fun.
The energy level was good to start the game as it was in Buffalo, but, the energy, and I look at myself first, it just wasn't good enough. I think personally and as a team, we're playing with too much anger and not enough enjoyment. That's why I kind of wore this hat today as a little reminder. We've played this game for a long time, and we get paid incredibly well. This is our livelihood to play a game most of us dreamt about or played as kids and always want to be in this position. And personally and our team, we just need to have a little more fun, smile more, to enjoy each other. And, it's fun when you win, of course, but I think there's ways of taking some of the pressure off, and it's got to start with me this week with my energy and my approach. And I was disappointed, not just about the pick, but a couple other I wish I could have had back. But we just have to respond to adversity a little bit better, and it starts with me, and I got to lead the way with that.
Now, Anthony, I'm just curious because I didn't see the interview. What was the hat that he was wearing?
Oh, I think it said positive vibes only or something along those lines. A very positive message.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. He goes on to say he has to be a leader and set the tone.
The power of belief, is a snowball that can start an avalanche. And I think that's what we need. And it starts with me. I got to bring the right energy every single day, and especially on game day. I feel like we've been loose. We've been having good practices. But for whatever reason, there's been a little bit of tightness on game day. And I think that's got to start with me. I got to bring the same energy during the week and lead with that energy. I think there's been some good leadership moments, but I need to be a great leader. And I think part of that is that last little energetic part and just doing as much as I can to make sure those guys play free and not worry about making mistakes. And when something bad does happen, how do we all respond, myself included? And I think we can do that a little bit betterly, and it starts with me. And I'm gonna set the tone this week with that.
Here's what I don't get. I know that I'm positioned, and there's a guy who listens to our show all the time, and I thank him for that, Boogie Collin, who thinks that I hate Rodgers. But this is Game 7 of his 20th season in the NFL. And he just had an epiphany that he has to be positive as a quarterback and lead? I mean, what was he thinking before this game against the Patriots? I don't get that. You just came to that conclusion you have to be positive? Quarterback always leads the team. They feed off the quarterback.
Well, at least he's taking responsibility because he's the guy that's got to do it because none of these other guys know how to win. He's the guy. He's the leader. He's the winner. See, that's the thing I argued with Bart Scott when we were down at the Beach Bash, and I did a spot with them about what team locally was the closest to a championship, and he said the Jets, and I said, you got to build up some scar tissue. You got to learn how to win. This team hasn't played that many meaningful games, Michael. I mean, last year, once Rodgers went down, they were trying to win. They were trying to make the playoffs, but there was no pressure for them to try to go out there and win. Nobody expected them to win. Nobody's expected the Jets to win for a while, and now they're expected to go out there and win. So, of course, they're going to be tight. Of course, they're going to play with anger. Well, why would they be having any fun, Michael, when every game is so meaningful and they're dropping the ball because they're learning how to win? They've never been in this situation before. And a coach just got fired, for God's sakes. So how are you supposed to be free and easy when you've already cost your coach a job? You're 2-5. Every game is just so magnified because every week goes by and your chance of making the playoffs are less and less.
Well, at least you're always adding new players, though.
Yeah, so that's why I mentioned the word salad, Peter. Yeah, that's right. You bring Adams in. You bring in Adams to have more fun. He's not the clown at the party.
Well, not only
he's
that,
the guy that's supposed to be helping you win a championship.
And each one that you're bringing in requires work and getting people adjusted and getting acclimated. And it is tight in there. It has to be.
I mean, I would almost laugh if I were in the room and Rod said, let's go have fun. Fun? We're supposed to be competing for a championship here. We're not supposed to be having fun. So that's why I said word salad to Bob, just trying to come up with different phrases of what's wrong with the team. What's wrong with the team is they right now don't know how to win. And they're looking at Rodgers as the guy that's supposed to know how to win, and he hasn't played at that level. So I can imagine, Michael, the stress every day of going in there. A team that hasn't won a darn thing since 2010. Oh, go out there and win a Super Bowl because you're one of the most talented teams in football and you had a quarterback that once upon a time won a Super Bowl. That doesn't sound like an environment that's going to breed a lot of fun. It's going to breed stress because of the pressure.
I've been around sports now almost 40 years. And what I've always found out, when you have fun? When you win. It's not the other way around.
And it's such a killer you kind of forget about, guys? They were up 9 points against Pittsburgh.
Right. And then they crapped the bed.
And Michael, where do they specifically start crapping the bed? They had the ball.
Pick by Rodgers.
Rodgers throws a pick with them up 9 to give Pittsburgh good field position. They move down the field. They score. So it's hard to have fun. Rodgers sets the tone for fun. And you cannot set that tone by throwing away a lead with errant passes. I mean, you forget about that. They came out of the gate looking good, guys, and that's the killer part. They'll play this week against New England, and you can't ever take your foot off the gas. You might not feel good. If you're a Jets fan, are you going to feel good if they're up 7?
No.
Up 10?
I'd like them to be up. I don't think, Pittsburgh can score. They've got weapons. The Patriots can't. So if you're up 10 by the Patriots, but, there are no style points. You just want them to win. The Jets, essentially, right now, they put themselves in a position. They have to win 2 games in 4 days, 5 days. They have to win on Sunday, and they have to win on Thursday against Houston. They have to win those games. At some point, you have to stop. You've got to start stockpiling wins. That's all there is to it.
Oh, so just think about that. You go into the room and say, guys, listen, we're not having enough fun. Go out there. Let's just be loose. Let's just go out there and have fun. It's professional football. And, oh, by the way, you better win the game. That doesn't jive, man. Like, they're going to go into that Patriot game. Yeah, they should be able to have fun in the second half. They should blow the Patriots out. But, Michael, if they lose to the Patriots, forget about the mathematics. Their season's over.
Yeah, I would agree.
So how are you supposed to have fun when, if you lose, your season's cooked?
You'll have fun if you win that game.
All right, let's
if you're up by 40, you'll have fun during the game.
Then you can have fun.
So then you can have fun. You beat up on the Patriots. Okay, now you beat up on the Patriots. Everything's stabilized. And, oh, by the way, in a short week, play the Houston Texans in another game that you're going to have to win because that's a team in your conference, and that might help for tiebreakers. And you got to follow up the New England win with another one. You've put yourself in a situation where fun's just not going to be on the table.
You almost have to win the next 4 games. Patriots, Texans, Cardinals, and Colts. You have to win those 4 games.
I think at least 3 of the 4. Listen, if you believe it's going to take 10, and I don't know if it's going to take 10. They got a huge break last night with the Chargers losing to the Cardinals. So the Chargers have 3 wins. That's another team that's going to be in the conversation. I think we could all safely say it's going to be the Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Bills as your division winners right now. So then everybody else is up for the wild card. They've already lost to Denver, already lost to Pittsburgh. So that's tiebreakers. But I still think 9 might be on the table. But if it's 10, you're only allowed 2 more losses the rest of the year. So if you do go 3-1 in the next 4, okay, then that means you got to run the table in order to get to your 10.
And with the perfect Jets luck,
right.
They have 2 games left with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins will have Tua back. They couldn't have had those 2 games when Tua was out. So those are not gimme games either.
You know what we haven't talked about a lot on this show, too? We've talked about many of the shortcomings, and I hate killing this guy because I love him. I mean, what in God's name happened with Garrett Wilson on that pick?
Overall, he's not playing great this year.
The answer is he got distracted. Obviously, the ball was not tipped, but obviously the hand near the ball must have distracted him off of it.
I get it, but
you can't
top
do
flight receivers can't have a ball bounce off their chest. It was a dime from Rodgers.
I'm giving you the reason,
right?
But it can't be the reason when you're the offensive rookie of the year and you're expected to be big time.
And we're pointing out all of the flaws of Rodgers. You got to also point out in that spot, guys, he dropped an absolute dime that turned into a near pick 6, essentially a pick 6.
It was a perfectly thrown pass. Now, also, if you watched Monday Night Football yesterday and you tuned into the Manning cast, Bill Belichick, was a little harsh on the Giants, and he also reiterated some of that on McAfee. Listen to what he says about Joe Shane and the Saquon situation.
In the Hard Knocks, I mean, it looked like, I don't think Dable wanted to get rid of Saquon, and I certainly don't think John Mara wanted to get rid of Saquon. I mean, this seemed like, kind of a general manager thing of, we don't think anybody will pay him, when kind of everybody in the league knew that he was going to go to the Eagles. But anyway, I don't think everybody was on the same page on that. At least it didn't appear that way from Hard Knocks, which honestly, I'm surprised they even let that air with that kind of tone being on it.
Wow. I mean, Bill's not holding back as a media member, and that would lead you to believe that he's probably angling to get that Giant job at some point, because I don't think Joe Shane's going to want Bill Belichick. So probably if Belichick comes in, Shane's probably out.
And you wonder, if you watched Hard Knocks, you know how much Mara loved Saquon and didn't want to part with him. But again, the criticism of Mara, and it was a legitimate one, of being too involved and let Shane do his thing. And John's probably sitting back there and, all right, let's see if it works. And then you see Saquon go out there and light your team up. And now they might be on their way to a 4-13 season. What do you think Mara's going to do? He's going to want to do something to give back to the fans. He might make a call to Bill and say, all right, Joe, I gave you the reins. You ran us into the ground. I'm going to make a change. Now, I'm not saying that he should do that. And I'm not saying that it's going to end up being that kind of a season, Michael, but if this goes sideways, and as passionate as Mara is about the team, and as much as he wants to try to give something to this fan base after what will be 2 miserable seasons in a row, do you think he's making that phone call to Bill? I do.
I think they've always done this dance of seduction about each other.
Now, I'm not in love with giving him the entire team, because as great a coach as Bill Belichick is, I think he's a very average general manager. So I'm not sure I'd want to hand the entire reins over to him. But I do think that's going to be on the table, because Mara might be like, I can't do this. I can't have this happen. And I've got Bill Belichick. He's always wanted to be here. Now, you might say, why would Bill go there? No quarterback unless they're going to draft one. And it might take, and if you draft one, Michael, it's going to take a little while to win. But the one job it seemed like Bill always wanted is the Giant job. And is that a job? He won't go anywhere else for a rebuild, but would he go to the Giants for a rebuild? He might.
Now, listen to what he said to McAfee. He essentially says that the Giants are a mess.
The Giants thing, I don't really understand. He was their best player. For a couple $1 million more, they could have kept him, I guess. Instead they got a guard or somebody, I don't know. The offensive line doesn't look very good. They're playing a guy at left tackle who shouldn't be playing left tackle. Evan Neal is drafted in the first round. He doesn't play. They have some UFA guards that are pretty suspect. It's a tough line. Quarterback is trying to hang in there. It's been tough sledding.
And you know what? This weekend we kind of, I don't know how much we spoke about it, but Michael, the theory that I had that you enjoyed a couple of weeks ago, or whatever it was, a couple months ago at this point, that Joe Shane really put himself behind the 8 ball by going against ownership to move Saquon. Yeah. That took another. You could say whatever you want. Everyone go, oh, it's not the reason. I know that they weren't great when they had Saquon. It was still another death blow for that conversation that Saquon showed up here, ran for 176 yards and a touchdown, and the Giants are absolutely a mess. Again, if Mara had wanted Saquon out, no problem. But the fact that you said, no, don't worry. Remember there was that one clip? He almost laughed through it, Michael. He's like, no, I know what ownership wants, but we're going to do what we're going to do.
And Belichick's right, though. I mean, the Giants had editorial control over that show. Why would you let that be on the show?
And here's another question for you. Will that fall on Shane, too?
It might.
Because I doubt that Mara was watching the footage. Football people were making those decisions, and PR people were making those decisions. Mara wasn't watching that footage.
Well, then that's on him, because he had editorial control. He's owner of the team.
But an owner doesn't do anything that granular. You're trusting your people to not be stupid.
Here's why I think it's on the table. I'm not saying it should be, but here's why I think it's on the table. He finally decided to go outside the organization to bring somebody in, and if it ends up being a disaster, what he's going to do? He's going to go right back to his old habit of, let's bring in somebody.
But that's Bill Belichick.
and that's Bill Belichick. And that's why I think it could happen. And here's the thing, too, for all the people that think just change the quarterback and everything is fine. If you really want to listen to everything Bill Belichick's saying, the one guy he didn't kill was Jones.
Yeah.
So is it possible if you gave the reins to Bill, he might try to make it work with Jones for 2 more years? Rebuild the offensive line, get him some weapons. Maybe he actually thinks that Jones could be saved.
Well, that would be scary.
We've got ENN coming up at 5:30. Let's take some phone calls before we get there. Dennis in Center Reach. Dennis.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, the Knicks season this year, I think they're going to be terrible. I hate this Julius Randle trade. I think it made the depth worse. I think DiVincenzo's an 18-point scorer. Towns is soft. He can hit three-pointers, but he's a 20-point scorer. Randall was a 25 scorer. Achua's hurt. Mitchell Robinson's hurt. They have no depth. I think Thibodeau's – I think he's okay. I don't think he's a top-5 East coach. What do you guys think?
You think the Knicks are going to be terrible? That was your word.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis,
Hold on,
with all due respect, I don't think you could be more off base. You just did the math with Randall and Cat, but you didn't factor in Mikal Bridges. You didn't bring that up.
Well, there's a couple things that are troubling here. Mikal Bridges? You're talking about made up 18-point scorers in Dante DiVincenzo. Never averaged 18 points,
right.
Michael. So he believes he's an 18-point scorer in his mind. Mikal Bridges is definitively a 20-point scorer. Julius Randle, the trade-off point-wise for him and Cat, that's great. Did you look at shooting percentage? Did you look at three-point percentage?
And where he gets those points. You've now made Brunson a better player because Randall's not hanging in the paint.
That was
a crazy call.
It's so weird with Knicks fans, right? I mean, obviously, I don't know if there's much crossover between Knicks and Rangers. Rangers had a similar season, except they went to the conference final. I think the Knicks would have gone to the conference finals if they didn't have all those devastating injuries. The Ranger fans were apoplectic that they ran it back. How did they not make changes? They can't beat the Panthers. They're going to take a step back. And we have a Knicks fan who didn't. The Knicks didn't run it back. They improved, and the Knicks fans wanted them to run it back. Listen.
I don't know.
I guess
Don, he didn't sound like a Knicks fan.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
If you could say the Knicks are not good enough to win a championship, no, okay, I could buy that. Terrible?
Yeah, I think that's
on no level is it terrible.
Well,
will they have a terrible season?
We cut him off, but it sounded like he was going to run down all of the teams that are going to be better than the Knicks. So let's.
Don't you think terrible means that they're even out of the play-in?
Right? Yeah, or they are playing. But wait, if you're going to give me Orlando, are you going to give me Indiana? Are you going to give me who the Knicks would have beaten had they been healthy? Are you going to give me the Sixers? We're still waiting on the process there. Miami? Like all these teams you're convinced are going to be better than the Knicks? Boston? Yeah, that's a team. You want to tell me Milwaukee, they get their act together, they stay healthy? All right, I can give you that. But I can't go any deeper than that. Can you?
Well, Cleveland's an excellent team. But you listen, they could all be really good, but to say the Knicks are terrible, I think you're out of your mind. They're not going to have a terrible season unless there's a catastrophic injury. And their depth did take a hit. I understand that, but what did Mike Green say? They play 8 guys anyway. They don't have 3 guys coming up the bench.
And again, you're not convinced about Thibodeau yet?
I think that was him to make a splash on the radio because he can't. I have too much respect for him as a human being to think that he really thinks that. I have too much respect for people as human beings to think that they would not stay around to listen to ENN, and also the big parlay that Don's put together where you can win $27,000.
You just got to nail 16 in one.
I think you could do it. Let's see if Don does it.
Now, if you want to throw some cubes down and make it $100, that's even more.
Oh,
you're talking about $1.
No, that's life changing. If you throw down 100, Don, that's life changing.
Maybe if you hit that parlay, then you can go to Mazda and get yourself a car, right, Don?
That's right. Get more in the new Mazda.
New at Maurice's, the feel-good life, styled for fall. Shop the new fall collection in stores and at Maurices.com. With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home acing it. Our convenient options are ready in as little as 15 minutes and way quicker than takeout. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meet simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com. Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Scheduling is easy with Square appointments. Clients can book online 24/7. Take payments at your station or the front desk. To offer seamless checkouts. Keep track of commissions and split tips with just a few clicks. Gain time and peace of mind with beauty tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today at square.com.
The wait is over.
Now arriving, soft side suitcases from Away.
I chose Upstart because I was on financial aid for school. It did run out. Once I found Upstart, I was kind of relieved. They're interested in my background. They were looking at more than just my credit score. I was able to get my money fast. I was able to consolidate all of those credit cards into one payment and raise my credit score so that I was able to make that move right after college.
For hours. And to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
What would you do for clean water? For over 700 million people around the world, the answer is literally anything. Walk for hours, stop going to school, sacrifice sleep, health, money, and time, all for water that's not even safe to drink. It doesn't have to be this way. This is a problem we can solve together. Join Charity Water in our mission to end the global water crisis. Visit charitywater.org today.
Other than the obvious, what do you admire about Shohei?
Other than the obvious, I feel like everything's obvious. You know, hits for average, hits for power, the speed. You know, doing what he did this year with the 50 stolen bases. That's it got talked about a lot, but I don't think it got talked about enough. It's just he's an impressive impressive athlete, the best player in the game, and what an ambassador for this sport.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to ENN.
Ray Rowe.
On TV.
Thank you. It's brought to you by our dearest of friends at Security Dodge. I'd like to start off by saying good evening to Michael and myself.
So this way, Jack Flaherty could at least start game 5 if they had to. What was that?
No, that was my phone.
Oh, my goodness.
I just realized listening back, Anthony, I'm pretty sure that's Roman Reigns music that started playing on my phone.
Tremendous.
Isn't that what it is? Again, I want to go back to idiot. Okay, here it is. Good evening, Don.
Crocodile tears. People alerted me to that pronunciation on social media. I did not know it came out that way. I don't know where it came from. Crocodile tears.
Strange.
I want let it stand, man. I'm going to try to take ownership of it.
Oh, you want to change it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Well, not of the actual crocodile, but of the phrase crocodile tears.
No, I like you changing the animal to a crocodile.
So
Like
he's
from
calling it a crocodile.
Yeah, like they're from Caracas.
Wow.
A crocodile.
I did hear it when he said it, but I said, you know what? I'm too close to him to bring it up.
Let me hear this again.
So this way, Jack Flaherty could at least start game 5 if they had to. What was that?
No, that was my phone. It's Roman Reigns.
My goodness.
It's Roman Reigns music. All right, to Michael and Don.
You would not be really that devastated if
you died.
Yeah.
And you always said I wouldn't be that devastated. So what am I supposed to So Nancy, how was your day? Okay, the kids said, what happened at work today? Oh, Peter told this joke, and John needs me to do this. Oh, by the way, Michael died.
You know what I always think is an underrated thing? Whenever you should be really worried about someone, it always starts with saying "remember" in front of their name. So Nancy says, "How was work?" And you go, "Well, remember Michael?" That's how you know it didn't go the way you wanted.
Some of my buddies on a text chain, when somebody passes, not that we knew, but like somebody famous or whatever, like my buddy Mark texts me and says, "You remember when so-and-so was with us?" Something like that.
Right.
Like a casual.
Yeah,
You remember when Michael K was walking the earth?
It was last week. And to Don.
Get 0% interest or save up to $500.
5. I heard that one too.
That wasn't that bad. 5.
We're really digging to that.
No, that
Get
was
0% interest or save up to $500.
No.
So I said 5.
So what?
At least I know how to say goodbye to somebody on the phone.
Again, I want to go back to idiot.
FOIVE.
5. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a different sense of urgency with the English language. Crocodile tears.
I actually went to SeaWorld and I saw 5 crocodiles.
Well, I'm saying is that, you know what? I don't care about that story, right? Like, you could tell me I went and saw 5 crocodiles. You'd be like, who cares? You went to SeaWorld. What do you expect? See a dinosaur? But if I saw 5 crocodiles, you're like, really? Tell me that story. How many is 5?
Yeah, and what is a crocodile? That's a great point.
So what I'm doing is we've had this English language now for 600 years?
You're tweaking
Why don't we dress
it
it up?
Yeah, you're dressing it up. Sure, I get it.
By the way, I might put all 6 points on Thursday night. I think I might hammer the Vikings on Thursday night.
The Rams?
Yeah.
Rams are very
they're weird. They're very weird.
They're weird, and also they're kind of becoming a kind of Thursday at Jays.
Guys, and also it feels
they've got a quarterback that's you get quarterbacks that they become beer sponsors or clothing line sponsors. Their Super Bowl quarterback is pitching Wills.
Really?
Yeah, he's a spokesperson for Wills.com or something.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Yeah, that almost tells you. Know what that says? Thursday.
Thursday. That's right. You know what I think we might have to accept too? That the Rams thing was like one flukish Super Bowl. We've kind of been they've been living off the fumes now for a couple of years. We still talk about them like they're good. Are they?
And I think they got something. I think they're trying for a different look, but when you look at their jerseys, they seem like they're the only ones that have iron-on numbers.
Go ahead.
They look like their numbers are like iron-on, like you'd got their jerseys from Sears.
Oh, like not sewed.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the beautiful item that I showed you earlier, Don? I do. when they honored Darryl Green at the Commies game, they gave all the alumni just burgundy sweaters with their numbers on them.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it's a gorgeous item. They need to do more stuff like that. I don't want to say how I feel, but the state of current merchandise is not in a good place. It's current merchandise, guys. It's all owned by the same people. So you search for every single team. They all sell the same items. There's no excitement to buying merchandise.
Unless it's something from Starter with Carl Banks. He set the...
Well, no. So Starter with Carl Banks, for example, they make an amazing product.
Right.
And you may be able to find that stuff on the website, but you may have to go find it other places. But basically, Fanatics has a full-on monopoly, it seems like, of all the sports, and all the products are kind of the same. So when you see something random and different, you go, it's like the way Don felt about Dua Lipa. You go, damn.
I did say that.
And you were right.
Dua Lipa, you go, damn.
Don, I'm telling you as God is my witness. It's the truest drop of all the drops you've ever had. I lived it. I actually said it out loud to myself.
Never said it until I was introduced to her that I would one day like to be a mic stand. Dua Lipa, you go, damn.
You'd like to be a mic stand?
Oh, yeah. Take a look at some of the video.
Unbelievable.
She's doing things with the mic stand?
Do you not enjoy her work?
Well, I guess I haven't gone that deep.
I couldn't tell you one note she's ever sung.
But
I enjoy her work.
Michael, did you enjoy Billie Eilish on SNL this weekend?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to watch. I only I watched the DVR and I watched the Open, Michael Keaton's Open, and Weekend Update. I didn't see any of Billie.
Was it good?
The Open, the Michael Keaton monologue was not great.
No. Can we be clear? It's time for us to have an honest conversation. We're 50 years in, guys. We're 50 years in. I'm going to say something right now. It should win me point guard for the rest of the week.
Okay.
The monologue's generally bad.
No.
It is generally
you're wrong.
It is generally a nothing burger. It's kind of cute. At best, you get a couple of chuckles, and if it's a stand-up comedian, it might be a really good 5 minutes. But generally speaking, you guys really don't think that the monologue ends up being something... You never tell anyone about the monologue. You talk... Very rarely does the monologue drive conversation the way, for example, the show Open does. You disagree, Michael?
I don't expect... But I'm like Don. I'm not expecting hilarity from the monologue. I just want to, settle into the show.
But that's not still not disagreeing with me. It's very often a nothing burger. Don, that's why you don't expect much. Because it's not usually very special.
I think we're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing.
But it sounds like you have a little higher expectations.
See, but I'm a big Keaton fan.
I know it's
big Keaton fan. And he by the way, people forget, he was a tremendously funny stand-up. And I don't think they used him the right way in the monologue.
He was... I
did not know that.
Are you sure you didn't make that up?
That he was a great stand-up?
You might have made it up.
You made that
up. I did not. Go look on YouTube. You guys live there. The guy was a very funny stand-up.
In what era?
Would have to be.
Well, he said in 1975 when the show started, he said this in the monologue, he was a PA for Mr. Rogers in Pittsburgh.
Right, yeah, that was a big thing, yeah.
So, and by the time Mr. Mom and those movies had come out,
like 82,
and
83.
Gung-Ho, we're talking early 80s.
Yeah, Gung-Ho was 84, I think. So, yeah, but he was already making movies by the early 80s. So
search. Don't make a liar out of me. Search Michael Keaton stand-up.
Well, but you've seen, you watched it at the time?
Yes, I remember a specific joke that to this day made me, spit up. It was so funny.
All right. You know what? I believe you, Michael, because guess what? I trust you implicitly.
He said he and his brothers used to sit in the back of the station wagon, and they'd be fighting, and his father would turn around and go, "I'm telling you, if you don't stop, I'm pulling over right now." And Keaton said one of his brothers was, a real tough guy. He'd light up a cigarette and go, "What are you going to do? You going to kill us? Go ahead, pull over." But just the way he said it was funny.
Wow. Yeah. All right. You have a distinct memory.
I have a distinct memory of that line, yeah.
And did you not think Weekend Update was great? I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was very good. And I'm a big Sarah Sherman fan. She might be the best one on the show.
Wow.
I love her.
You're a big Sherman
guy.
Yeah,
she's tremendous. And I also think she's sneaky beautiful.
Wow. Okay. A lot of information coming out here during the program. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the NBA season starts tonight.
No, really?
Yay! That's correct. And let's hear from our very own Alan Hahn. Who knows more about the Knicks than Alan Hahn?
Oh, maybe Breen.
That wasn't the answer I was expecting.
What the Knicks have to their benefit will be that this is a team that historically under Tibbs plays their best basketball in the later half of the season, post All-Star break, final 20 games. The numbers tell you he always has his team playing its best at the end of the year. So whatever we see out of the gate will not be the same thing we see going into the playoffs. That's why I keep, as much as I'm anticipating this season, and this is probably the most anticipated season they've had in probably 20 years, I will also warn people that don't expect a 20-0 start, because the Tibbs teams historically, it takes a minute to figure everything out, and then once they do, they're downhill in the second half of the season, and I expect the same is going to happen this year.
As for Joe Mazzulla of the Celtics, he says he doesn't feel pressure because we'll all be dead soon.
Zero, no pressure. We're all going to be dead soon, and it really doesn't matter anymore, so there's zero pressure. You're either going to win or you're not. So, it's not pressure. There's nothing anyone in this circle can do to me that's going to impact my identity and who I am as a person. We're either going to win or we're not, and 40 years from now, none of you are invited to my funeral, and that's it.
They send out invites to funerals? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I don't know why you have to say that no one who covers you and works with you would go to his funeral.
Yeah, you don't know
It's
that.
kind of rude. But I have another theory on that whole thing. Michael, is it possible that him being the level of religious man that he is, he's talking about some, end of days coming soon? It's on the table.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I didn't want to think that, no.
But it's on the table, no?
I don't know if it's on the table.
He talks as if he knows something.
No, that's what I'm... Don, he does.
So you think he thinks he knows that the end of days are coming?
I think that he believes the end of days are coming soon.
Or he believes that we'll elect somebody that'll end days. It might be a political statement.
Don, I have breaking news for you.
What's that?
The bunting is up. In the Bronx.
Now it's on.
The bunting
They
is
weren't
up.
really in the judge was speaking out of turn. He wasn't in the World Series yet.
Now he is.
Now
yeah, the bunting.
Let's hear from Aaron Judge on reaching the World Series.
Yeah, the journey's always a tough one, but I think that's the fun in all this is, enjoying the good times, the bad times, learning from them, trying to improve from them so you can get to this point. So, now getting to this point, this is where the real fun starts. For years as a kid watching the Yankees, playing the World Series, win World Series, just that excitement, the emotion, how the city comes alive is something, definitely special, and looking forward to doing that with this group.
And it will come alive this Friday when the World Series starts in Los Angeles. But you want to talk about the fans being alive? You think about the New York Knicks season, which starts tonight, and of course they'll be home on Friday night for their home opener.
That's right.
Nothing ignites that New York crowd like "Go New York, Go New York, Go." But I felt for a long time, guys, they needed to update the song.
You've said that many times.
But they're very committed to the "Go New York, Go New York, Go."
And why not?
So guess what they did?
Updated it.
They updated the song, but kept the Go New York, Go New York, Go. And added Dougie Fresh, the legendary, the world's greatest entertainer, Harlem's own Dougie Fresh. Let's hear the new version of Go New York, Go New York, Go, and get your thoughts.
Go New York, Go New York, Go. 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 Hustling hard, we show no fear, no shortcuts, always prepared. Madison Square, New York, we're here. All 5 boroughs, the love is thorough.
This, by the way, this is not like earth-shattering, but that is significantly improved.
Significantly better.
That
You're
is
right.
way better.
And it keeps the essence of the whole Go New York, Go New York, Go.
With all due respect, what's the gentleman's name who wrote the original one? He's now like a rich guy, an entrepreneur, and he does he gives speeches and a motivational guy who wrote the original. He was like an 18-year-old kid when he did the first one.
I can't think of
all due respect to him, just replacing, yes, Jesse Itzler. Not to say when you hear the name Jesse Itzler, we're not talking about a great rapper. Throwing Dougie Fresh on this totally, you know what it does?
He didn't stand a chance.
You know what it does, guys? It Dougie freshens it up. And that'll do it for ENN. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're such a bad guy. Brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Jeep Adventure Days. He does so many more. He does so many more dad jokes.
And every time I do a dad joke, you make a comment. So I just made a comment.
You know what? And so you know what? Another thing that makes me a better person than Michael, I can admit when he's right. You're right, I do.
Don's going to make you some money when we come back. That's what he promised everybody. So let's see if he comes through. But first, before he gives you this ability to make all this money, he's going to luxuriate in a beautiful bath.
Hey, guys. How we doing? You ready? Hey, Adams Elementary. Go Rams. I think he needs one, too. What do you think? All right. You guys ready to fight some crime?
This is not just flu protection.
Okay, well, you go get him, all right? Bye.
This is a neighbor looking out for you. Schedule flu and COVID-19 vaccines for you and your family today. Walgreens.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Is Cialis Daily better than Viagra? Does it last longer than Viagra? Are trial packs available? Get started today with a 3-month trial pack if appropriate at TryRexMD.com.
1 in 3 pet parents has used their pet's name as their password.
System hacked. System hacked. System hacked.
But delicious Caesar canine cuisine is a better way to show your love.
How's the ketchup? Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here, make a statement while barely making a sound, and command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The NBA season tips off tonight in Boston, and it's brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The Boston Celtics will raise their championship banner tonight, receive their rings before taking on the New York Knicks at TD Garden. The Knicks and Celtics have the first game tonight, while the T-Wolves and Lakers will tip things off in the late contest. Just 2 games on the schedule. And the Knicks will be showing off, of course, their newly acquired big man, Karl Anthony Towns, while employing the same head coach and point guard for the 3rd consecutive season for the first time since Jeff Van Gundy and Charlie Ward. The Nets will open their schedule tomorrow down in Atlanta. Nick Claxton is fresh off signing a 4-year free agent deal to stay in Brooklyn. Cam Thomas did not get a rookie extension, so he will become a restricted free agent at season's end. There are a lot of questions to be answered in this Nets season, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Our coverage for the Nets tomorrow begins at 7 p.m. with the pregame. We'll have you covered back in studio at halftime and after the final buzzer with the postgame. Opening tip-off is scheduled for a little after 7:30 in the ATL with Ryan Rucco, Sarah Kustok, and Megan Triplett on the call. It's the Nets and the Hawks tipping off the new NBA season tomorrow night. Coverage starting at 7 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app. Download it today.
Everybody is in action tonight, and I've got a 16-leg parlay for you.
Oh,
So you ready
man,
to go?
yeah.
Write it down. 7 o'clock
here we
tonight.
go. Here we go.
Caps at Flyers. I am going to bet the over at 5.5. The Florida Panthers on the money line. We're going to go with that as the Panthers are going to be in action tonight. So let's go with that. Panthers are home against the Wild. I'm going with the Panthers on the money line. Devils are home for the Lightning. I've got the under at 6.5 on that game. Stars and the Sabres from Buffalo. I've got Dallas on the money line. Canadians play host to the New York Rangers. The over is 6.5. I'm going with the under in that one. At 7:30, the Leafs will be in Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets, and I've got Toronto at minus a goal and a half. 7:45, Islanders at UBS will take on the Detroit Red Wings. The over-under is 6.5. I'm going with the under. The Blues trying to snap the Jets' 5-game winning streak to start the season. They will. I've got the Blues on the money line. Vancouver travels to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. I've got Vancouver on the money line. 8:30, Kraken welcome in the Avalanche, who have won a couple of games in a row. Colorado's going to make it 3 straight. I've got Colorado on the money line. Nashville yet to win this year, 0-5 to start the season. They get off the schneid against Boston, I've got Nashville on the money line. 9 o'clock, Hurricanes are in Edmonton to take on Connor McDavid. I've got Connor McDavid as an anytime goal scorer in that one. Utah home against the Ottawa Senators. Go with the Hockey Club on the money line. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins in Calgary to take on the Flames. Flames have yet to lose in regulation. They will tonight. I like the Penguins on the money line. 10:15, Sharks and the Ducks. That's a tough one. Just a tough one to watch. Both teams are not very good. I'm going to go with the under at 5.5 goals. And the Kings at the Golden Knights, 11 o'clock face-off. Drink your coffee. I've got Vegas on the money line. That's your 16-leg parlay. Again, Anthony, how much money for a $1 bet on this parlay?
Odds might have changed, but it's somewhere in the realm of $27,000.
$27,000.
That's money in your pocket.
You know what that is? That is a legend seat. So place your bet, $1. Show me something. Put $10 on.
So let me get this straight. If you put 100, it would be 2.7 million, I guess, right?
There you go. And you know what? If that were to happen, you got to show me some love, right? You
No,
gotta send me a little
100%.
something.
You have to. You have to.
That's like something.
Also,
across the
if you
table.
missed some of that, because there's a bit, there's a lot to take in. It will be on our Twitter page now.
Yes, because I didn't want to take up too much.
No, it's fine. I mean, if you're going to make people that kind of money, take as much time as you want. But if the first one loses, it's an embarrassment.
Yeah, it would be. But at least I tried.
What better way to
Right?
finish
I mean,
up the 5 o'clock hour
Come on.
than to bring in Richard in Manhattan?
Michael, Don, Pete, I got a couple of Yankee stuff. You remember the last time I got on and said the Yankee opponents, most years in between, I thought it was the Dodgers, 43. How stupid all of us were. It's the Phillies, 1950 to 2009. 59 years between appearances, Yankees, Phillies. So I thought that
Can
was
I
good.
stop
Now,
you before? Wait,
Michael,
I need to stop you before you get to your other points. Do you still believe the Yankees got the worst of the trade for Soto?
No, of course not, Michael. But, you got to bring these things up before they're true.
No, that's
because
true.
if you bring it up and it happens, you say, hey, Michael, what a great story that was when I told you
Gotcha.
that. But if you don't bring up these great possible stories, then everything will be sitting under the hat.
No,
So
I
that's why
respect
we
it.
do.
It is the point. It's a point.
Please go on, Richard.
All right. Now, Michael, you'll love this because this involves you. According to my calculations, and every calculation is done through the years, I know nothing about computers. I never look at a computer. Tell me if this statement is true, and you're the best person to ask this. It's not a quiz, so don't stress. There has not been an afternoon World Series game at Yankee Stadium neither the original Yankee Stadium, the refurbished Yankee Stadium, or the new Yankee Stadium. There hasn't been an afternoon World Series game there since October 12th, 1964, Game 5, Cardinals-Yankees, when McCarver hit the grand slam that beat the Yankees. Is that true?
Sounds true, yeah, because they weren't in a World
You
Series
haven't
again
never done it, Bill?
since 76.
You've never done a Yankee game, correct?
what?
Afternoon. You've never done a Yankee World Series game afternoon at Yankee
No.
Stadium, have you? Since 90s. So all we have to think about is 76, which I'm 100% sure there were only 2 games, and I remember them both at night. 77 with Reggie. Those were all night games. 78 and 81. There couldn't have been any afternoon games. Am I correct?
I don't think there ever will be.
So the 64 game at Yankee Stadium, it was a Monday. I remember running home after school that Monday afternoon. Michael, can you imagine the All-Star Hall of Fame broadcasters in that one game? Yucca, McCarver, Shannon, Bill White, and Tony Kubek. And Stottlemyre versus Gibson. That was the second game they pitched. They go on in 3 days rest to
Well,
pitch
I
game
got
7.
another question for you, Richard. You don't use computers in
Michael.
your dental practice?
Yeah,
Nothing. Everything is old-fashioned. I send out postcards. I do all my. That's why I'm here so late. I do everything on paper.
Why do you hate
everything.
computers so
while I'm
much?
doing
Well, how do you get an X-ray?
Yeah, X-rays are.
I do everything on paper. Everything
Well, how about
is
X-rays?
old-fashioned. X-rays are the old-fashioned, the small little X-rays. I don't do digital ties, none of that stuff. No, I do everything the old-fashioned X-ray machines.
Fascinating.
I love
Thank
it.
you, Richard.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
That benefits us how?
Wow.
We learn a lot, Peter. We learn a lot.
Do I need to remind you guys? And I say this as a radio broadcaster. I literally do radio probably more than anyone.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't need to watch games because he sees it better listening on the radio. So
It doesn't make sense.
he's a little old-timey, Richard. I don't know if you've noticed.
But I always wonder about people that are proud that they don't use computers. I mean, computers, there's great things about computers. The information that's available to you at your fingertips. And to just say, I'm not going to use a computer. Why?
People being proud of not using technology is always such a false sense of
Yeah, I agree with you.
accomplishment.
I mean, I'm proud of being obstinate and dumb.
Yeah, exactly. I get not like I think it's bad that the way we use technology, and I think scrolling all day, and I think we're doing some things that are really damaging. But the idea of not improving your business the way you could by implementing computers, it not only is it hurting your business. My guess, Michael, would have to be you're hurting your clients because you're not maximizing the potential tech that helps them.
I couldn't agree with you more. But I know you have something important to tell us before we get to the 6 o'clock segment.
You know what, Michael? You're absolutely right. This is really cool. If you've ever had trouble...
The Bombers have won the pennant and are headed to the Fall Classic.
We're going to the dance.
And yes, is your Yankees World Series home. With enhanced pre- and post-game coverage around every World Series game.
He is locked in on every pitch.
Plus preview specials and exclusive player access.
Can't ask for a more special moment at this time.
You followed the chase all season. Don't miss Yes's World Series coverage. World Series coverage begins tonight on Yes.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. As a kid, he made some mistakes, but right out of high school, he joins the Army. Does construction and HVAC his whole life. Paul Rivera's a guy who can say, I love my life. I've done everything right. So, where's the rub? Well, he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and the only hope is a lung transplant. Poor guy's close to curtains. When out of the blue, one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, hears about his case, takes it on. But not only does our friend get a new lung, he gets a whole new life. He keeps getting stronger. Everyone in his neighborhood is like, did they give that guy a new lung or a new motor? Paul Rivera made the most of his second chance. He's a good egg. Unlike you, derelicts.
See you guys next week. Good story, Mr. Giamatti.
Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera, you lived it. Sharp hat.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use in the future. So you'll have an emergency pizza when you need it most. Here you go.
Thank you.
No matter the reason, when life gives you lemons, Domino's gives you free pizza.
Enjoy.
Thanks. Sorry, Dad. Get your emergency pizza when you order online.
Thank you.
Only from Domino's.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Board by board. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got next.
You coming?
Hey kid, what? I got some cocaine, booze, and heroin. You want some? No, drugs can do a lot of damage to your body. They can do things like give you addictions, give you disease, ruin your health, and a bunch of other bad things that you don't want in your life. I'm out of here.
For 2 days. Peter's still waiting for his first one, but he won last week, so he's resting on his laurels. We looked it up. Game 4 of the 1978 World Series at Yankee Stadium started late afternoon.
Yeah, probably what, like a 4:05,
I would
something
think
like
so,
that.
yeah. Also, I'm a little curious. I mean, that's kind of a shocking to me. So Richard's just throwing out like word bombs. He doesn't even believe anything he says. He's the one who said that the Padres got the better of the deal. So now he said, well, you know what? If I didn't say it, I mean, what does that mean?
No, but
There's no way you can convince me I'm wrong.
No, because at the time he threw it out there.
But then he's just
as
throwing
an
things
opinion.
out there. He doesn't really truly have conviction.
Well, wait a minute. No, see, that's not right.
It is right. That's exactly what he's doing.
He thought at the time that it was a conversation that the Padres could win the deal. King was pitching very well. Yankees were going through
he didn't
a malaise.
articulate it that way. He said the Padres had the better of the deal.
Well, at the time, he thought that was on the table, and then he was wrong, and he said he was wrong. I mean, that's the hot take world that we live in.
But
So
he's not on first take. I mean, call up and say something with conviction.
I like the fact that we have a caller who speaks his mind. And he's not timid, he's not shy, and he was wrong, and he admitted he was wrong. He didn't say, I didn't say it, or that's not what I meant. So that's good. Have an opinion, man. What do you think point guard is? Point guard's an opinion. Well, you're supposed to wait and see how it all ends up? That's no fun.
But if you really truly believe that, whether or not Soto hit that home run in Game 5, you still think that they got the better of it with Michael. Even when he said it, Don, it didn't make sense.
No, but I understand that. But at the time, King's pitching well.
But you're missing.
And the Yankees were kind of like in a malaise, and I guess it was on the table. Hey, what if King pitches well, Padres win the World Series, and the Yankees don't make the playoffs? Well, then he would have been right, but he ended up being wrong.
But my point is, he even admitted. Well, I just throw it out there. I mean,
no, he didn't say that.
Isn't that what he said, Peter? Well, if I don't say it, I mean, we can't have.
Yeah, he to me, he said what he said was basically he was completely shooting a shot, but not that he
didn't really believe it.
Really believed it.
Oh, I didn't think
Oh, that's exactly what he said.
He felt it at the time, and he said
Anthony, can you please be the tiebreaker here?
Well, or we can listen to it again, see if we glean anything.
He thought it at the time, and he was wrong. Was he supposed to hold back? He thought it. And it was good conversation. It was good fodder. 5 months later, we're still talking about it.
Anthony Greek said, and Richard doesn't believe in a dental drill either. He uses a hammer and a chisel.
No, I don't get why you have the technology there, and it's not about you. It's about your patients. Don't you want your patients to get their information quicker?
What Peter said is true. He takes pride in the fact that he's fighting against, the evolution of man.
Huh. I want to go to a dentist in 2024.
I think he still rides a bike. I bet you Richard doesn't drive. I would bet you anything he's never driven.
But that's fine. But if he's a cab driver riding a bike, then he's a moron.
Michael, have you seen the video moving around social media of that guy dancing very provocatively who looks like you?
What do you mean looks like? I assume that was Michael or some sort of like AI thing. That guy looks exactly like Michael.
But here's the funny thing. People keep saying you should do it. First of all, I would never move like that. I'd be embarrassed to move like that.
No, you don't want that.
Well, I don't think you could.
Oh, I definitely could, but I mean, it's
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Well,
do it.
first of all, you're not going to go me into doing it.
But you don't have the hip gyrations.
Of course, I have the hip gyrations. I have two kids to prove it.
Michael had it or not?
I have two kids to prove it.
No,
Wait
that's
a minute.
different. That's a different move.
No, it's essentially the same move.
No, it's not.
It's just you're not standing.
Don't make me get so specific.
You don't need the hips to procreate, Michael.
Yeah, you don't need that.
You need the hips to entertain the other party.
Oh, my God.
And that's not on the table as far as trying to procreate. Listen, you
Deez of
get a turkey baster to procreate.
Deez of the Bodega Boys, formerly Deez and Mero, reposted the video.
And what did Deez say?
He said, "Come through the Yas Network."
The guy does resemble me. I'm sorry.
There's no way.
Jody looked at it and said, she said, "You sure they didn't AI your head on that?"
I think they did, because that's you. That's not somebody
you
who
have
looks
a brother.
like you. That's you.
I'm not proud.
Honestly,
first of all, he's not a real great-looking guy, so
no,
speaks
you're
volumes
better
about
looking.
me.
You're better looking.
But that's Michael.
It's he's shorter than Michael.
No, he looks tall.
Yeah,
he looks tall.
Shot up. It shot up at him.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
That was genius.
What a world. Let's go to Shane in Miami. He's been on hold a while.
Shane. Joe? Is Joe Shane?
Hey, Shane.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
2 hours and 40 minutes wait. Do I get two questions?
Yes, you do. You do. Thank you for holding.
Well, that's one question.
No
Could
problem.
you have one? Now you're down to one.
Oh, come on. This
you got it.
One quick question. Mike, you were a very young man in 1981, 18, 19 years old. Did you go to any of those Dodger Yankee games?
I can honestly tell you, Shane, I'd never been to a World Series game until I announced one.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have the money to go.
But you remember those games vividly,
Of course.
right?
I watched every single second on TV.
Awesome. Listen, man, reason for my call is, so thanks for allowing me to call in. Big fan of yours, Mike, on the Yes Network and during the season, and also on the post playoff games as well. So a lot of people say that the Yankees this was a really easy route to get to the World Series this year with going through KC and the Guardians. I want to ask you, and I think you could argue that the Dodgers is, with their pitching staff, no Ohtani, no Kershaw, no Stone, no Glasnow, and Freeman on one ankle, that this would this could potentially be the easiest route to win the 28th championship.
Why is there no
And
Ohtani?
I would argue, one more thing, I would argue that I'd rather play the Dodgers than the Phillies, the Padres.
Well, I mean, Shane, I can't argue. I mean, because I said at the beginning of the playoffs, if they don't get to the World Series, that they have no excuse. So they're there. I don't think the Dodgers are an easy out at all. Yeah, they're short on starting pitching, but it was just announced moments ago Jack Flaherty will start game 1, then Yamamoto probably 2, Walker Buehler 3, and then they'll use a bullpen day. And their bullpen is so deep and good that they won a game against the Mets with a bullpen. They clinched the pennant. So this is not an easy. I mean, the Dodgers are favored. Barely, but they're favorite.
And I don't. Would the Phillies be favored?
Oh, that's a
Would
great
the Padres
question.
be favored? Maybe.
They maybe might.
Maybe, but you can't say it's easy because first of all, whether it's the Padres, the Phillies, the Mets, or the Dodgers, all much tougher than what the Yankees have gone through so far, and the Royals and Guardians. But to say this is easy when you're the underdog, home field disadvantage, that offense and that bullpen, I kind of see where he's coming from. So if you had that kind, remember we bought into it too, Michael, when we were the Mets. Oh, who you want, the Padres or the Dodgers? And we said the Dodgers. Be careful what you wish for. If you asked the same question, would you want the Padres, Phillies, or Dodgers? If you said I'd want the Dodgers, I guess I could see that. But be careful what you wish for.
Let's go to Dave in Queens. Dave.
Men, thank you. Can I join?
Yes, you may.
Please.
There you are.
Okay, guys, I have the plan for the Yankees to win Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5 at home. And deep thought, I've put this, guys, you got it. Okay, first pitch, Game 3, Hal Steinbrenner. He goes to the stadium, goes to the mound, looks up at all the Yankee loyalists like me, and I'm a Yankee fan since '75, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but I am who I am. He throws out the first pitch, walks off the mound, gangster, okay? Stadium erupts. He gives us his presence because he doesn't talk that much. You know that, Michael. Okay, Game 4, Mr. and Mrs. Judge. They throw out Game 4. Okay, you put up some pictures of Aaron Judge as a little baby being adopted by these great people. Aaron Judge definitely doesn't lose that game. They win that game, and the stadium goes nuts. Game 5, you have Nicky Totoro and you have Chaz Palminteri come there with some nice gangster suits. They throw out the pitch like little silencer hitmen. Boom. Game 5, Yankees are up 4-0 in the 6th. They clinch it at home. Stadium goes nuts. All 3 of those people should throw out the first pitch. All those 3 groups should throw out the first pitch started by Hal. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely out of your mind, Dave, but thank you. First of all, Hal Steinbrenner is about as, I wouldn't say shy, but he's certainly not outgoing like that. The last 2 times he actually stepped on the field, he got booed. Why would he ever do that? Why would he put himself through it? Also, if you're going to do that for Mr. and Mrs. Judge, why wouldn't you do that for Mr. and Mrs. Soto? Why wouldn't you do that for Mr. and Mrs. Doctor and Dr. Volpe? Well, I mean, you just don't do that. And why do you have 2 celebrity fans? So you're gonna skip over all the great Yankees that actually won championships.
The thing you don't do is make the call, and he did. That was the mistake. I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, Michael. The one that was the most moronic. Like, do you think any Yankee fan would be moved at all by Hal throwing out the first pitch?
No, they would boo.
Honestly. Yeah, how would that move anybody?
I mean, I don't think he should be booed, but he's been booed before.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what I thought he was, you know where I thought he was going? That Hal throws out the first pitch and gives Soto like a big, huge check. Like, here's the contract. And I thought that's where he was going to go. And my answer was going to be, all right, what do you do when Soto says no and goes back to the dugout? Because that's what he would do, because he's going to wait to become a free agent. But at least that one made more sense. I don't know what just happened there.
So, speaking of Soto, Sport Track, which is a pretty good follow when it comes to like finances and sports.
The contract.
They have estimated that Juan Soto's contract will be $513.4 million for 14 years. So I took out the calculator, which is built into the iPhone.
Sure.
If I'm the Yankees, I would do that 3 days ago. That's $36 million a year. How is that the contract?
Is that based on some sort of formula?
It must be. It must be based on some sort of formula that they think that's what. If it's that, it's a bargain. You're making less than Judge.
First of all, I don't even know why you even went to that website, because we had a call earlier that says based on the fact that the Yankees will make over $100 million for each home game, that they should give Soto a $900 million contract. So I think that's where we're jumping off at. I tell you, our callers, stoners.
Yeah, Don, you've
I mean, there's no point that I've ever made in my life that will age better than our callers are high.
But wouldn't you agree, 513 for 14 years? I think that's really low. I think you're starting out at $40 million a year.
Because whatever their matrix is probably based on contracts in the past. I think everybody knows he's going to set the market. So how do you even compare it to anything? So from his statistical output, they're probably putting some sort of monetary value on that. But how is that going to work when you've got Scott Boras as the agent who's looking to set the market?
And right now the market is $46 million a year. That's the present day value of Ohtani. Now you can say, well, Ohtani brings in all the Japanese money with advertisement, and he's also a two-way player. Yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made, but
I think Ohtani should be the highest paid player in the sport even next year.
Well, because you're talking about a guy, you could say, well, he doesn't play defense, but he pitches.
Right.
I mean, Soto, you're not paying him for his defense.
Correct. That's the thing.
You're paying for his bat.
Presumably, Michael, when Ohtani comes back, he's not just going to be an arm. He will be what, the second best pitcher on the team?
If he comes back,
yeah,
probably be might be better than Yamamoto.
So he could be the best pitcher on the. So honestly, when you get into it that way, offensively, who's better between Soto and Ohtani? Negligible. Ohtani by a bit.
I think Ohtani might be because he hits more home runs and steals more bases.
And steals all the bases. So Ohtani by a bit offensively. Soto is a nothing or a slight minus in the outfield, and then Ohtani is going to be a top-flight pitcher. You could argue, Michael, Don, that he could be worth $5 million more a year.
Well, I mean, it was calculated, Peter, that the Dodgers make money off this contract. First of all, they're only paying him $2 million a year. $68 million is deferred, and that's a hedge fund company. They're going to make more money off that than he would have. So that's why his contract is not $70 million a year; it's worth $46. Yeah. And all the money they bring in from Japanese businesses that advertise, and it's also benefited other teams because those Japanese businesses that can't afford to advertise on the rolling boards in Dodger Stadium, what they do is when the Dodgers go somewhere like in Milwaukee, they'll buy the rolling boards behind the plate. So everybody's making money off Ohtani. And you know, I was thinking about this guy yesterday. And I said to myself, you know, we haven't heard from him in a long time. I hope he's okay. And here he is, Spike in St. Pete.
He's back.
Hey, Spike, how are you, buddy?
Hey, boys, I'm still pulling air in and pushing it out. It's been a couple of rough months, a couple of hurricanes, and we were waylaid for about 10 days. Luckily, God blessed us, and we had a rental property that was empty. So I'm doing okay. I'm old and I'm sick, but I had a call in, and thank you guys. Lots been going on in the world and life and everything. Peter, a belated Happy New Year to you. I married off another boy. I was up in New Jersey. Christopher, the police sergeant in what town is he? Hamburg, out by Crystal Lake, where you went, Michael, I think. And the DJ was your friend, Peter.
Who's that?
Detoli. He said he knew you real well, and he happened to be talking to your ex-wife on the phone while the music was playing.
Hold on. What was the? Hold on. Whose name was?
Chris, his name was, I believe, Chris Detoli. He said, we're talking, and he says, your voice, I recognize my voice. You call Sports Talk? Yeah. And he says, and I was in a tux and everything. And he said to me, you know, Peter Rosenberg. I showed him a picture of us together. He says, I was just talking to Alexa. I don't know what their connection is in business or something. But anyway, he was a terrific DJ. And I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I'm still breathing. I have to do this with you, Michael. I listened a little bit before because I stopped listening for a while. A whole bunch of shit stuff going on. I think the Knicks are very good, and I think Leon Rose and the Mets GM, I think this is a model. I really do. You need good management in any company, any phase of life. And Leon took 4 years with his college buddy, William Wesley. I think this squad is really, really good. I'm not saying they're as good as Boston. I know you're a Celtic fan, Peter, but I don't like five-out basketball. I don't like the three-point shot, but I think he put together a great squad.
Agreed.
I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be fine, and I can't wait for the tip-off. So I'm going over at 53.5, Michael.
Over? I would agree. I would go over as well.
Oh.
I think it's the second.
That's a good year.
Second straight year you guys have agreed.
Yeah. So it doesn't make
Why
it
not
fun,
be bullish?
right?
He's one of the guys I hope the Knicks win for because he's a really big Knick fan. I know he's had some trouble. We trying to stay in touch with the DMs, and I'm glad he was able to call.
Yeah, good to hear from Spike, man. Been too long.
Yeah, I've got to find out who this DJ is who says he knows you.
Oh, it's interesting.
I would have left that if I were Spike, but, you know, he is who he is.
Let's go to Matt in Long Island. Matty.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it. What's up?
Unfortunately, Mr. K, I got to call fraud on you and pull a Godwin, go back a little bit. But I got to defend Donnie Pups with you and Breen. There's no way that he should be rooting for the Yankees if he's a Mets fan. The only hard decision I have as a diehard Mets fan is, do I want the Yankees to get swept in 4 games or do I want them to lose a heartbreaker in 7? There's no way you should be rooting for anybody.
You're right.
Judge is a
You're
great
right.
guy.
And listen,
I wish him
Mike
the best.
is my good friend, and I would not agree with him. You're right. I'm not a fraud. I just didn't call him.
But you were a
I didn't
fraud.
call it
You
to
were
his
so
face,
nice.
Matt.
But you didn't call
You're
him.
right. I should.
But you didn't call him fraud. Every single person that called up last week was slapped with a fraud because there were Yankees fans rooting for the Mets fans. But you have a Mets guy that's all of a sudden rooting for the Yankees, and that's okay.
But there's a difference, Matt. You'd have to admit. Let's talk this through.
All right.
I was saying, why would Yankee fans be rooting for the Mets right now? That's now. Once it's over, I still don't understand why you'd root for the other team. But as Don said, I think Mike was being political.
We're having fun, but I don't think Mike Breen was in any other position than what he said. He knows a lot of Knick fans are Yankee fans. He doesn't want to be that guy. But I don't believe him. I think deep down inside, he's hoping the Dodgers win. Or he just doesn't care either way because he's probably not much of a Dodger fan either. But to sit there and go, I hope Aaron Judge wins a World Series, why would that be first and foremost on Mike Breen's mind? Said he never met the guy. He's not a Yankee fan. But I think he's trying to be politically correct because, let's face it, I would say, 60, 70% of Knick fans are probably Yankee fans? Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Now, here's Mike in the city council. He thinks what Breen is right. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, Michael?
Good. How are you?
I'm calling calling on behalf of the city council. I want to commend Mike Breen for being a good citizen and rooting for the Mets and the Yankees. I think it's great for the city.
Why do you care so much about the city? Are you really on the city council?
Oh, I'm from the city council, and I represent, and I just think it's a great thing that Mike Breen.
You know what? I got to tell you, Mike, you're a good citizen, my friend. Thank you for calling in.
I think he might have been a comptroller.
I'm telling you, a lot of people who feel that way.
This was good. Yeah, because it tells me that our audience listens.
He was the comptroller. I believe it.
How come it's not a comptroller?
I don't know what's going on there with the comptroller.
Yeah, I don't know where the P comes in. You heard what I said. Dan Gross is going to be on for a little tiny half-hour show.
Yeah, but don't kill him because he filled in for Honda.
I'm not killing him. I just said
I'm just saying
because I know he does a Knick pregame too, right?
But nobody's ever described 30 minutes of radio as tiny. So I thought you were taking giving him a hit. I was saying, listen, we're fortunate that he's doing it.
And then we have the Knicks and the Celtics, and after that, Pat O'Keefe takes over. End of game till midnight. Look how Don gets his. The hair on the back of his neck. He thought I took a shot at the Saint Dan.
He got very.
Saint Dan. What'd you get Dan for his birthday?
I'm a good
What'd you get? What'd you get him for his birthday?
30 minutes of conversation with me on the phone.
Wow, priceless.
30 minutes.
Priceless.
That's a long convo.
Wow.
But man, I just saw the shirt the Celtics are giving out tonight for the Banner 18.
You want it?
Oh, it is awesome. Yeah. It's so much better. Again, like I said, so much better than the merch you can buy. Looks awesome.
Anyway,
speaking of buy,
see everybody. Hope you have a great day. Billy Joel, take it away.
That's a wrap on
on the show for today. Coming up next, we start to get you ready for Game 1 of the World Series between the Yankees and Dodgers with our World Series preview show. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Class-leading safety features at every turn. The Hyundai Tucson.
Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 1.99% APR, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Reese's. They'll get you. They will get you good.
Save up to $7,200 in discounts and tax credits, plus take up to 84 months to pay when you purchase a new HVAC system from A.J. Perry. This is a limited time offer. Call 844-668-7555 to schedule your appointment.
I love those guys.
Ball game over. American League Championship Series over. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Never seen it like this before. Whoa, make you wanna get that, get that. Got 'em coming back for more. Let's go. Yeah, I'ma bring the wow. I'ma bring the wow. Yeah, I'ma bring the wow.
Lease a Genesis GV70 for $449 per month or get 2.99% APR. Exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites and Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites and Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites and Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
You can win big on Hard Rock Bet with a little bet.
Yeah.
Or a Post Malone size bet.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need to know everything about every sport.
Good, because I don't.
Yeah, me either. All you need is a feeling and a phone.
Oh my gosh, I won.
You definitely need a phone.
We're good.
Big payouts for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Do you know what
can get your friends to vote this year, you can. Because when people are encouraged by friends like you, they're far more likely to vote. So use your power. Ask your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
There is nothing like postseason baseball in the Bronx.
Swung on, hit in the air to right. Back goes Pham. He's on the wall. She's gone. It's Labor Day.
Soto picks it up. Perez being waved home. Close play. They got him.
Line to left field. There's a base hit. Chisholm grounding third. Coming home. Doogie delivers. And she's gone. A Stantonian home run.
Hit through the middle. Boy, they just cannot handle Stanton.
Judge is there. He makes the catch. Ball game over. American League Division Series over. Yankees win.
Here we go. Game one of the best of 7 American League Championship Series. A home run by Soto. Towering drive. And Stanton drives one deep left center. He'll watch this one fly. A booming home run. Giancarlo Stanton.
She's gone. It's a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
And this one is going to fly out of here. And the Yankees strike quickly tonight. Stanton is going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? Giancarlo Stanton made for the moment.
And she's gone. A 3-run home run. The Yankee bench comes on the field. What a Soto photo.
Thomas fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away. And the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
Well, these hallowed halls are quiet for now, but come Friday night, the World Series begins at Dodger Stadium, and it's a blockbuster matchup. The American League champion New York Yankees, the National League pennant-winning Los Angeles Dodgers. We're setting the stage for this star-studded showdown here on Yankees 2024 World Series preview, presented by Untuck It. We certainly hope you're having a great night. Welcome, Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Jack Curry, and Michael Kay with you. This is an epic matchup any way you slice it and dice it. Superstars, super storylines, absolutely supercharged, Michael.
Well, Yankees and Dodgers, that's what baseball is all about. It's a matchup, the two best teams, the one in the American League, the one in the National League, the #1 seeds get in. And really, when you think of the Yankees and the Dodgers, it's like the scrapbook of our mind. We go back to all these great moments in baseball history, all these great names like living beings coming out of Cooperstown plaques, and that's what the Yankees and the Dodgers are. Baseball could not ask for a better matchup than this. I think it will enthrall the entire country.
We've got New York versus L.A. We've got East Coast, West Coast. We've got the two biggest media markets. We have the two probable MVPs in Judge and Ohtani. So you talk about excitement around a World Series. There's always excitement around any World Series. I think the excitement is heightened because of everything that we're going to discuss for the next hour. You bring in the history of these two franchises. Dodgers, Yankees is the most common World Series that has ever been played. This will be the 12th. We're all expecting a classic.
Jack, I'm glad you brought up the media part of this and the markets that these two teams play in, because when you're a player for the Yankees or a player for the Dodgers, you deal with the media at another level all year long. Now you're going to go to a World Series playing against each other, and this is going to take it just to another level again. And also, as an organization, as players, you look across that field and you get ready for this matchup, and you're thinking, you know what, both of these clubs are really evenly matched. This is going to be special. So many superstars on offense that can hit the ball out of the park. So much good pitching, but in different ways. So as we talk about key things we're looking for, and as Jack said, we got a lot of ground to cover over the next hour. Where are you looking? You looking to offense? You looking pitching?
I'm looking toward pitching because, as you said, Bob, I think these teams are very closely matched. I think both of these lineups can go up against a pitcher and make them work. These lineups love to hit. Both bullpens are going to be heavily used in this series. We know that. That's why I'm tilting toward the starting rotation. I think one of the advantages that the Yankees have is that they can and should get more length out of their starters than the Dodgers will. The Dodgers could end up pitching a game out of their bullpen in this series. We'll see how that pans out. But it starts with Garrett Cole in Game 1. I think he's the best pitcher still standing, and I think he's the guy who can give the Yankees length.
We've seen this already in the championship series on both sides, that pitching is going to be exposed. Fatigue is going to be a factor. So, Jack, I'm with you. But who's going to be the starting pitcher that might step up in this series? Because if you think about it from a Yankee perspective, you have 4 starters that are going to go. Is it going to be Rodon? Is it going to be Clark Schmidt? They could be the A.J. Burnett of 2009, where they give you maybe more than you expected going into it. If they do that, you protect your bullpen just a little bit more. It might take one game, Michael, from a starting pitcher that protects your bullpen.
Well, I think the Yankees have the advantage, Flash, in terms of the starting pitching. I mean, I don't even know how the Dodgers are going to scrape it together. They have 3 right now. They have so many more that are just unavailable because of injuries. But I'm going to piggyback on what Jack said. It's going to be about the bullpen. And I think that both teams needed this reset because their bullpens by the end were exhausted. The bullpen got the Dodgers past the Mets. I think the Yankees, their bullpen played a huge role against the Guardians. But I think there's going to be a matchup. If this series goes 7 games, you're going to get sick and tired of seeing Tim Hill against Shohei Ohtani. That's going to be 7 times you're going to see that because the Yankees are going to have to match up with Ohtani. He's the most dangerous guy in their lineup, although there are other danger zones in there. Ohtani you want to control, and the best way to control him is with Tim Hill. I think we're going to see a lot of that.
It all starts Friday night. The Yankees and Dodgers kicking off their epic World Series matchup. And yes, we'll have Game 1 Yankees pregame coverage beginning at 6:30. Then after the final out, come back for full analysis and clubhouse reaction. And remember, catch extended coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app starting at 6:30 prior to every World Series game. Well, one guy hit 50 home runs for the 3rd time. The other became the founding member of the 50-50 Club. Now the presumptive MVPs are set to meet in the Fall Classic. Flash is going to break down Judge and Ohtani next on Yankees 2024 World Series preview presented by Untuck It.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
What's the score of the game?
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Lease a Hyundai Elantra for only $159 a month or get 1.99% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new 2024 Tacoma for just $339 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Yankees 2024 World Series preview is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
It's lights, camera, action. Everyone turn fashion. Me make way for a superstar. Man, I wanna be a superstar. I wanna be on stage.
Superstars produce like superstars and like MVPs, which is what Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge most likely will win this season. Look at their regular season stats: 58 homers for Judge, 54 for Shohei Ohtani, who also had 59 stolen bases. The numbers are epic. They also, by the way, as we welcome you back, hardest hit rate. How about that? Hardest barrel rate. Should I go on, Flash?
Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And we always joke about this, like, hey, don't miss a pitch of these battles and these at-bats. But that's going to be the case on Friday night, because you're going to have Aaron Judge coming up in the first inning, and you're going to have Shohei Ohtani leading off in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, there are so many stars in this series, but none bigger than Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. What these two guys have done this year to get their clubs to this point, now we're just waiting who's going to be the biggest star in the World Series. It could be either one of these guys.
All right, so let's talk first about Aaron Judge. And I think we agree that his at-bats throughout the Division Series and the Championship Series were getting better heading into the World Series. But when I brought this up to Flash in my office, you said something that shocked me. You said Division Series at-bats are actually more stressful than Championship Series or World Series. How is that possible?
Yeah, Bob, I don't think there's any doubt that you get to a Division Series best of 5, and you're thinking as a player, if I have 3 bad games, let's just say Aaron Judge in this case, if I have 3 bad games and we get knocked out, I'm going to be the reason why we got knocked out. So once you get to the ALCS and then you get into a 7-game series, and then you hear me all the time talk about a regular season, the grind of a regular season. Well, now these two teams are in the grind of a postseason, and Aaron Judge in that ALCS had that one big swing against Class A, but the at-bats have gotten better. The swing has gotten better. Remember in the first round we were talking about him slicing the baseball to right field. That's not happening anymore, and I think his pitch recognition is right on point. So if he's ever at a point where you can say he's ready to have a big World Series, I think he's ready to have a big World Series. There is still going to be pressure, but getting out of that first round, I think Aaron Judge was feeling that. Now he's kind of in the flow of a postseason.
All right, so does he have to win a World Series this year to cement his legacy, or is that always just the expectation for the Yankees, just kind of baked in? You got to win a World Series.
I mean, Aaron talks about it himself, right? If you don't win a World Series, then the season is a failure. And the one thing that I will say as a player, you get to a World Series as a New York Yankee, you feel like you're going to get there every year. It doesn't happen. It's not that easy. So I know Aaron is probably thinking this is my one chance to get the first one, and then we'll try to build on that. But I think you have to take the opportunity that's presented to yourself, because you know how hard it is to get through the regular season, get through a DS, a CS, and now into a World Series. You got to finish the deal.
Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani a little bit. We marveled at his greatness individually when he was with the Angels, but in the offseason, he signs a record $700 million deal, and in his first year, as a hitter only, he's taken the Dodgers to the World Series.
You know, when we saw that contract, and you're thinking about Shohei Ohtani, okay, the hitter, the pitcher, the combination, but you're right, this year only as a hitter, is he going to be able to live up to the contract? Well, he exceeded it. 54 home runs, 59 stolen bases, goes 50-50, and is a leadoff hitter for the Dodgers in that huge market. And his first year in that contract, Bob, he has this team to the World Series. An international superstar who did not disappoint during the regular season, starting to get better during the postseason, and I think both of these MVPs are in the same situation. The swings are starting to lock in, and you know that you're 4 games away from sealing the deal. Ohtani, is he going to do it as a leadoff power hitter? Is he going to do it as a leadoff hitter that gets on base and steals some bags? We haven't seen that during the postseason. During the World Series, it might happen for him.
All right, let's talk catcher-pitcher perspective facing Ohtani. I know you're trying to get him out that first at-bat. He's leading off. But let's say the next at-bat comes around and you got to get through 8, 9, and then 1 Ohtani. As a catcher, are you consciously thinking, you know, he's standing over there, we got to get 8 and 9 out because we don't want anybody on base when he's up?
I think that's going to be a common theme through this whole series, Bob, is that you're going to have to pitch aggressively to the entire lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially 8, 9 before Ohtani, because they're a very disciplined club, just like the Yankees. So you're going to have to pitch aggressively in the zone if you're Garrett Cole in Game 1. And then when you get to Ohtani, maybe if there's a base open, you pitch carefully to him. But again, you got to be careful because you got Betts coming up. You got Hernandez. It is a packed lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers, so it's not going to be easy for any Yankee pitcher to navigate, but your life gets a whole lot easier if you get the guys in front of Ohtani out.
And we should mention this, Ohtani 18 for his last 23 with runners in scoring position. So again, when the bright lights in the big city, that's set for all the attention, that guy handles pressure well.
Yeah, I would say that if there's nobody on base, he's probably trying to stretch out and hit a home run and maybe expands a little bit. With runners in scoring position, he locks in on that strike zone and gives you a quality at bat. Again, it's going to be fascinating to watch both of these guys because at the end of this World Series, I'm sure there's going to be one of them that stands out and said he got it done, the MVP of the National League or the MVP in the American League.
Time for another break on Yankees 2024 World Series preview presented by Untuckit. Coming up, we get Michael and Jack to turn back the clock as the histories of these teams are lined with legends.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. And the crowd here at Yankee Stadium will be roaring on every pitch.
And here comes Robinson, trying to steal home. He's safe.
Bombers are primed for an epic fall classic with the Dodgers.
We're going to the dance.
And yes, it's your Yankees World Series home with extended pre- and post-game coverage around every Yankees game.
This is what Cole is built for.
Game 1 pregame begins Friday at 6:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. As a kid, he made some mistakes, but right out of high school, he joins the Army. Does construction and HVAC his whole life. Paul Rivera's a guy who can say,
I love my life. I've done everything right. So, where's the rub?
Well, he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and the only hope is a lung transplant. Poor guy's close to curtains. When out of the blue, one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, hears about his case, takes it on. But not only does our friend get a new lung, he gets a whole new life. He keeps getting stronger. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
Did they give that guy a new lung or a new motor?
Paul Rivera made the most of his second chance. He's a good egg. Unlike you derelicts.
Good story, Mr. Giamatti.
Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it. Sharp hat.
Get 3.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Yankees 2024 World Series preview is presented by Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The Yankees and the Dodgers have been linked throughout baseball history, both as much fixtures in October as the falling leaves. Some of the greatest October memories involve these two teams battling each other. The matchups featuring the biggest names in the grand history of the game. Faces from Hall of Fame plaques coming to life in our mind's eye, whether in grainy black and white or exploding into color.
Jackie Robinson hurrying for the plate on his daring steal.
From a steal of home to a flash of perfection. To Koufax domination. To 3 home runs into a chilly October evening. These two teams have made the World Series their own personal playground.
This could be it. Yankee bench on the field. Yankees are the champions.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have just about done the impossible.
Two of the best teams in the game, with some of the biggest stars in the world, going at it, fighting for supremacy, just as it was, seemingly just as it's always been. No need for anyone to wait till next year. Yes, it's a long, storied postseason history for the Yankees and the Dodgers. Bombers won the first 5 meetings, though Brooklyn took it to Game 7 in 47 and 52. Then the Dodgers finally broke through in 1955, the year where Jackie stole home ahead of Yogi's tag. In 1956, Don Larson was perfect, and the Yankees won the final matchup of city rivals. After the Dodgers left for L.A., they swept in 63, then back-to-back rings for Mr. October and the Bronx Zoo in 77 and 78. Before Fernando Mania and the Dodgers captured the last showdown in 1981. Well, this will be the 12th time that these two teams have met in the postseason classic, Jack. Now, we're getting old, but we're not that old, so let's go back to the 70s, and that's what people of our age really remember.
5 seasons span, Michael. The Yankees and Dodgers meet in 77, 78, and 81. I'm glad you talked about age because I was just a teenager, and I'm learning about baseball, and I'm thinking, this is the way it's supposed to be. The Yankees and the Dodgers are supposed to play every year. Now, we just saw in that clip Reggie's 3-home run game, and that is epic, and everybody remembers that. But what also stands out for me was in 1978, the Reggie Jackson-Bob Welch matchup. I'm not sure I've seen a more dramatic at-bat. And you look at Welch, he was 21 years old. This was power against power. He's going to end up throwing 9 straight fastballs, Michael. The Yankees were down by a run. They had 2 runners on base. And you just watch Reggie in this at-bat. There was a lot of gamesmanship. He was stepping out of the box. But Welch just kept humming fastballs until right there, he threw one that I'm sure Reggie would say was hittable, but he got it under his hands. Yankees came back and won the series, but Reggie not real happy about that at-bat.
But then Reggie had another chance later in the series and hit a home run off of Welch. Also what I remember from those series, Greg Nettles was just brilliant at third base. I mean, he stole so many games for them, and Ron Guidry pitching in 78 off his 25-3 year, but the defense by Nettles was just extraordinary. I mean, he turned doubles into outs, and he did it in such an easy way. He was such an extraordinary third baseman. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he's one of the best defenders who ever lived, and he really put on a show in that series.
I did a deep dive on YouTube today, so I watched the Welch and Reggie at-bat, which I would advocate people watching. It's about 6 minutes, but they also have all of Nettles' plays, and you've got Tom Seaver, who was on the commentary, just saying, unbelievable, unbelievable, and we know how unbelievable a career he had. But you can see these teams, Michael, and the memories come rushing back. And I know that 1981 stood out for a particular reason for you.
Yeah, I was 20 years old at the time, and, you know, I was such a big Yankee fan. And then the Yankees take a 2-0 lead in that series, but they end up losing. And the thing I'll always remember, I don't know why I thought like this as a 20-year-old, the final out was recorded in center field by Ken Landreau of the Dodgers. And I was sitting in my living room with my parents. They said, that's it. It's time for me to become an adult now. I can't live and die like this anymore. I have to get a job and earn a living. So I always looked at that as the end of my childhood when he grabbed that final out.
That's a significant way to think about that. But let's take a flashback to the 40s and the 50s. Within a 10-season span, Yankees and Dodgers faced each other 6 times. You and I, in our careers, both had the good fortune to interview Yogi Berra, to interview Don Larson. Michael, I know Yogi probably said this to you because he said it to me. He thought Jackie Robinson was out. Jackie Robinson was called safe. Although, did you know this? The Yankees actually won that game. They lost the series. They won the game where Jackie stole home.
And the amazing thing about Yogi is every time he saw Rachel Robinson, Jackie's widow, every single time he would say he was out. I mean, he just really firmly believed that till the last day on earth that he was out. Now, there was no challenge system then, but that's the one replay we have, and I can't even tell from that.
There was a social media post that came out this year which had a different angle, and if you want to dig for that social media post, he was safe. So as much as I love Yogi, he was definitely safe. You talk about these former players, Michael, who we had the good fortune of interviewing and having such vivid memories. I once hosted an event which Don Larson had to answer questions about his perfect game for 2 hours. Not only did he answer them, he answered them in such vivid fashion. He was rocked in Game 2 of that series and was surprised to even get the ball. And, of course, you know the famous story. He found out he was getting the ball because Casey Stengel left the baseball in his cleats.
And, you know, the great lead from that story is that, you know, the imperfect man pitches the perfect game. And if you look at his history of his career, he never reached that day again. That was his one day of perfection, and he was able to take that his whole life and make it his own. And it was an amazing thing. It was never done before. It's never been done since in the World Series. So it tells you the enormity of it. But if you think about the Yankees and the Dodgers back in those days, that was baseball. I mean, those were the greatest players that the sport had to offer. And they were meeting every October, and it wasn't a big travel thing. It's not like the 3,000 miles these two teams have to go back and forth. So, I mean, I think that's what made it so interesting to all of America.
It was borough to borough instead of going cross-country these days. Now, I mentioned how they faced each other 6 times. The only year the Brooklyn Dodgers did win was 1955. And now, Michael, as two Fordham alums, we would not be doing this segment justice if we didn't talk about Vin Scully. How much would it surprise you if I told you that Vin Scully has said the highlight of his career was calling the Dodgers winning that 1955 World Series? He told Bill Shaken of the LA Times that. He said because he was 25, and as you just said, these players all lived in the same neighborhood. He was friends with them. He went ice skating with Jackie Robinson, so he put that call above anything else in his career.
And if you think about his career, 67 years, and he spanned it from, you know, Brooklyn Dodgers, Ebbets Field, all the way to Dodger Stadium. 67 years of that, and 55 was enormous for all Dodger fans, because the saying, wait till next year, actually comes from the Dodgers always losing to the Yankees. And 55 was like a monumental time in Dodger history. That was the only World Series they won while they were in Brooklyn. Now they've done a lot more in L.A.
Yeah, they called them dem bums at the time. They finally got the opportunity to get one. You had the chance to interview Vin Scully extensively. I only got the chance to talk to him once in my career. How meaningful was that for you to be able to sit down and talk to the voice of the Dodgers?
Just chills. I mean, you're talking to baseball royalty. He's as big a name as Jackie Robinson, Duke Snider, Fernando Valenzuela. That's how much he meant to that franchise. He actually introduced baseball to L.A., and I'm sure his voice is still in the minds of all those Dodger fans. Unfortunately, he will not be around for this series. I'm sure he would have enjoyed it. Now, much more to come here on Yankees 2024 World Series preview presented by Untuck It. And after a break, we'll hear from some Bombers before they jet off to L.A. Keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect fit at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray.
You want a whole plate
like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite, obey your thirst.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
The Yankees postseason 50-50 raffle is open again. The Yanks have guaranteed a minimum jackpot of $50,000 for Game 3 of the World Series on Monday, the first game in the Bronx. One lucky fan will take home half the pot, and the other half will be donated to the New York Yankees Foundation. Enter to win by visiting Yankees.com/5050 or by scanning the QR code on screen. You must be in New York to play. Good to have you back with us here on Yankees 2024 World Series preview presented by Untuckit. The first two stages are clear for the Yankees. 7 wins down, 4 more to go. Ahead of his first appearance in the World Series, Aaron Judge was asked about the journey so far.
The journey's always a tough one, but I think that's the fun in all this is, you know, enjoying the good times, the bad times, learning from them, trying to improve from them so you can get to this point. So, you know, now getting to this point, this is where the real fun starts. For years as a kid watching the Yankees, playing the World Series, win World Series, just that excitement, the emotion, how the city comes alive is something, definitely special. And, looking forward to doing that with this group.
It's not easy to get to this point, and what's it been, 43 years since 81 were these two teams, and you think of the success of these two franchises, that it's now been 43 years is remarkable, and showed you that, I know well and good how hard it is to get to this point. So we're excited about it. We'll be ready for it, and just looking forward to hopefully a great series.
Friday night, the Yankees and Dodgers kick off this colossal clash of a World Series. And yes, we'll have Game 1 Yankees pregame coverage beginning at 6:30. And then after the final out, come back for analysis and clubhouse reaction. And remember, catch extended coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app starting at 6:30 prior to every